My child, listen to me now, because this is not just another video. This is a divine interception. I, the Lord your God, am speaking directly to you. Not by accident, not by coincidence. Heaven is watching you today. Yes, you. Right now. Every breath you take, every decision you weigh, every battle you hide beneath a quiet smile. I see it all. And this moment, it's sacred. What I'm about to reveal carries weight, prophetic weight. And if you turn away too soon, you'll miss the one word your spirit has been aching for. So stay. Don't scroll. Don't blink. Don't treat this like noise in the background. Watch until the very end, because what I've prepared is not light, it's life. What begins as a whisper will end in a heaven-shaking revelation. And by the time this ends, you'll know beyond doubt, heaven wasn't just watching, it was speaking. Directly. You. My beloved child, stop everything you're doing and lean in closer than you've ever leaned before. Heaven is not peering through a distant lens, waiting for you to mess up. No, that's not how I watch you. I don't sit on a throne of judgment counting your failures. I sit upon the throne of mercy, clothed in compassion, my eyes burning with the fire of a love that never wavers. Right now, this very second, I am watching you, not as the world watches, not as men do with criticism or comparison, but with the gaze of a father whose heart beats for you with eternal affection. Heaven is not distracted. The hosts of angels are not preoccupied. I have directed divine focus toward your life because I want you to know you are not invisible. You are not background noise in a crowded world. You are the reason I orchestrated this moment, this message, this divine interruption. You have been seen in secret, and I have recorded every act of courage, every whispered prayer, every trembling yes you've uttered in the silence. When you thought you were unnoticed, when your soul whispered, "Does anyone even care?" Heaven answered with a resounding "Why, yes." I watched when you held on while others let go. I watched when you stood in rooms filled with noise and chaos, carrying pain that no one else discerned. You wore your strength like armor, but I saw the cracks underneath. I noticed when you smiled through shattered hopes, when you lifted others even as you were sinking, when you gave love freely while you yourself felt empty. This is not just a poetic notion, child. This is reality in the spirit. My eyes are on you, not to condemn but to champion, not to critique but to celebrate. You are not some passing figure in a sea of names. I know your voice. I know your scent. I know the rhythm of your heartbeat. The weight of your weariness has not been overlooked. The fire of your faith has not gone out unnoticed. You think you're just surviving, but I see you thriving in ways even you can't yet measure. And that's why heaven is watching you, not to tally up mistakes, but to testify of your strength. You are not on trial. You are on record. And the record of your endurance is echoing through eternity. My beloved, how often have you walked into rooms where no one looked up, where your presence seemed to stir no recognition, no response, no welcome? I have seen you there, entering quietly, offering pieces of your heart through service, through love, through small acts of goodness that no one clapped for, no one thanked. And yet, while people passed you by, while friends overlooked, while your worth was measured by shallow standards and fleeting moments, I never turned away. I did not miss the way you tried. I did not ignore the sigh behind your smile, the ache behind your laughter, the loneliness beneath your loyalty. While others measured you by what they could extract or gain, I measured you by what you endured in silence. And right now, yes, now, not someday, not later, the throne of glory has swiveled toward your life. Heaven's full attention is fixed on you, not in pity, but in promise. The weight of your prayers, the residue of your tears, the fragrance of your faith, it has risen like incense and captivated my court. The angels are not silent concerning you. They speak your name in reverence, not because you're flawless, but because you are faithful. They've seen what I've seen, the way you stood in the shadows and still worshipped, the way you kept sowing while your hands were trembling, the way you lifted your eyes to me when despair tried to cement your gaze to the ground. You've lived among people who didn't see your value because they were looking with worldly eyes, distracted by loudness, blind to depth. But my child, I am the God who sees in stillness. I am the God who values the quiet resilience, the sacred endurance, the kind of faith that doesn't flaunt but burns unshakable beneath the surface. I want you to hear me, really hear me. My throne has turned toward you. Not toward the impressive, not toward the celebrated, not toward the loud, but toward the pure in heart who never stopped believing I was watching, even when no one else did. Let me speak this into your soul with fire and finality. Heaven's gaze is not generic. It is precise. It is pointed. It is personal. I am not distracted by kingdoms or empires. I am not too busy balancing galaxies to look upon your face. I didn't delegate this moment to an angel or assign it to a prophet. I came myself to tell you this truth with my own breath. You matter to me more than the stars, more than the singing choirs of seraphim, more than the gold of Solomon's temple. Your life is etched into my glory. You are not in the corner of my attention. You are at the center of it. And what others have failed to affirm in you, I have sealed in the records of heaven. You've asked, why does it feel like no one sees me? And I answer, because I've hidden you for myself. I've preserved the weight of your worth until the hour I could reveal it with undeniable clarity. That hour, my child, is now. You see, I do not simply watch you as one watches a film or a parade. I watch you with involvement, with divine participation. Every move you make, every decision you weigh, every temptation you resist, I am in it with you. I am not an audience. I am an advocate. The throne is not silent. It is active. Heaven is not a theater. It is a command center of angels, of strategies, of movement. And right now, that movement is gathering around you. I am releasing divine acceleration, not because you begged louder than others, but because your posture drew me. You didn't compete. You trusted. You didn't clamor for attention. You remained available. You didn't perform. You persevered. And now my gaze is not passive, it is prophetic. I am watching you because I'm about to lift you. I am watching you because I've timed your moment for glory. And my child, there is nothing anyone can do to reverse what I've decreed. The throne has turned. And when my glory turns toward someone, it changes everything. Child, you've cried in places where no one could hear you. You fought battles not on grand stages, but in quiet corners, behind closed doors, beneath your breath, beneath your dignity. You've laid awake at night, listening to the war within, praying that someone, anyone, would notice the struggle, the weight, the invisible wars that no one seemed to care about. But I was there. I was there in the sighs you never voiced. I was there in the questions you dared not ask out loud. I caught the tear that no pillow could absorb. I heard the silent screams behind your eyes when you walked into work, into family gatherings, into church even, and smiled because you had no other choice. But just because no one else saw, don't you dare believe I missed it. Heaven has seen it all. I have a record, a divine archive, of every uncelebrated act of obedience, Every time you chose holiness over compromise. Every moment you held your tongue when injustice boiled your blood. And child, I am not unjust. I do not forget. I do not overlook. Every single breath you've taken hath been counted as worship when you chose to keep breathing in pain rather than quit in bitterness. Let me speak this with clarity only heaven can carry. You are not a statistic in the crowd. You are a story unfolding under heaven's gaze. I have watched you get up again when life knocked the wind out of your lungs. I saw you whisper amen with cracked lips. I saw you pick up your Bible when your soul felt too heavy to lift. I saw you dance without music, pray without feeling, sow without seeing a single sign of harvest. I saw you serve the very people who hurt you. I saw you believe the very promises that seemed to delay. You didn't fake your faith. You didn't display your devotion. You demonstrated it when no one was watching. That is what moves me. That is what moves angels to act. That is what moves heaven's hand. Not perfection, not performance, but persistence in the unseen. Do you understand, child, that the battles you fought in silence have not only been noticed, they've been honored in my presence? I stood at the edge of your bed when you couldn't sleep. I sat beside you in the car when your tears blurred the road. I walked with you into places where you had to pretend you were okay. And while the world applauded others, I applauded you in secret. You don't know this, but angels were dispatched not in response to loud declarations, but in response to your quiet yes. You don't realize the power that echoed through my courts the moment you chose to praise me while bleeding. I am not a distant God. I am not aloof or disengaged. I am the God who documents even the tremble in your breath. I am the God who attends your every whisper like royalty. And my reward is not delayed. It is developing. You are about to see that every unseen battle carried weight. Every private war has public reward. Every hidden tear has holy power. So when the voices rise again to tell you, you've done nothing, you got nowhere, you've been forgotten, remember who is watching. Remember who has seen it all. I don't need crowds to confirm your worth. I don't need applause to validate your calling. I need your surrender. And you've given me that. Again and again, without recognition, without adherence. And so I am declaring, nothing has been wasted. Nothing hidden has been ignored. Heaven has seen it all. And now, child, heaven is moving because of it. My beloved, lean in closer. For what I am about to reveal may stretch your understanding, but it will also soothe your soul. You have never been alone, not for a single second. Though it may have felt like your prayers vanished into the night sky, though it may have seemed like the room was filled only with your echoing questions, you were never abandoned. Your story has not been unfolding in isolation. I assigned angels to you before your first breath, not out of obligation but out of deep delight. From the first moment your heart began to beat, they stood watch, guardians of your destiny, silent sentinels of your journey. And in the seasons where proof was nowhere to be seen, when your senses screamed that I was silent, they hovered still, whispering courage into your soul when you had no strength left to whisper it to yourself. Yes, a child. When your faith felt fragile, when the foundations shook, when you walked blindly into days covered with fog, I didn't condemn your questions. I collected them. I stored them like treasure. And the angels, they documented every act of courage in the dark. Every time you chose to believe when evidence betrayed you. Every time you prayed into a silence that felt endless. Every time you offered praise that felt like a risk. Those moments didn't disappear. They were written in divine ink, etched into eternity. Every flicker of faith, no matter how faint, has been recorded in the sacred archives of glory. Heaven does not overlook what earth often does. And while people reward outcomes, I reward obedience. While the world celebrates performance, I honor persistence. And your persistence, my child, has not gone unnoticed. Let me say it this way: heaven is a witness. Not passive, not neutral, but active. Angelic witnesses have walked with you through fires you didn't even know were fires. They saw when you smiled through heartbreak, when you gave your last without receiving, when you forgave what others said was unforgivable. These weren't just moral victories. They were prophetic proclamations. They declared to every realm that you belong to me. And because you belong to me, I ensured that not one sacred moment of surrender was wasted or forgotten. The hosts of heaven have marveled, not at your perfection, but at your posture. You've walked through days when darkness tried to define you, but you refused to give in. You wore your hope like armor, even when it cracked. And child, that kind of trust is louder than thunder in my courts. And now the records that were once being written in silence are about to be read aloud in demonstration. I will honor publicly what you sowed privately. You will begin to see evidence of those angelic assignments, the doors that open with no explanation, the protection you can't quantify, the favor that feels too tailor-made to be coincidence. It's not random. It's not luck. It's not chance. It's me. It's heaven. It's the fruit of the faith you carried when there was no proof to lean on, only trust in my name. Your story is not over. In fact, the most holy chapters have just begun. And I, your God, am both the author and the witness. Now pause with me here, child. Still your thoughts and let me be louder than your fears for a moment. You may have imagined me as distant, far off, high above, too consumed with the grandeur of the universe to be intimately concerned with your daily ache. But that picture isn't accurate. That idea isn't truth. I am not far. I am closer than the breath you just inhaled. And more than that, I'm leaning in. I have paused the orchestration of galaxies to read the lines of your story. Like a poet cherishing each stanza, like an author flipping back through the pages of a manuscript written in blood, I am focused entirely on you. This is not a general gaze. This is specific. This is divine fixation. I have not simply noticed you. I have been enthralled by you. Let me reveal the gravity of this moment. Right now, the King of Kings, the Lord of Hosts, the Alpha and the Omega has paused the rhythm of eternity to gaze fully upon your heart. Not in impatience, not in frustration, but in deep, reverent love. Yes, reverence. Because the fire that still burns in you, after all you've walked through, has become a holy flame in my temple. I lean in, not because I must, but because I want to. I want to hear your thoughts, your fears, your desires, even the ones you feel are too small or silly to share. To me, nothing about you is insignificant. If it moves you, it matters to me. The shifting of your emotions, the trembling of your hopes, the flicker of longing in your midnight prayers, I feel it all. I attend to every nuance of your soul like a master artisan handling sacred scrolls. Do you understand, my child? You are not just observed. You are cherished. You are studied. You are known. And the knowing is not distant, but deliberate. I lean in because your life is not ordinary to me. It is holy ground. The pages of your story are being turned by divine fingers. I read your past with mercy, I read your present with compassion, and I read your future with unstoppable hope. I don't skim your pain. I sit in it with you. I don't rush past your waiting. I watch it unfold with the patience of eternity. And every word you've spoken in trust, every decision made in the dark, every moment you chose me over the world, I highlight it. I underline it. I smile over it. I'm not keeping score. I'm keeping record. And the record is sacred. So, the next time you wonder if I've noticed, remember this. I didn't just glance in your direction. I leaned in. I didn't just acknowledge you. I prioritized you. And not because of what you've done, but because of who you are to me. You are not a chapter I skip over. You are the chapter I pause to savor. Heaven may be vast, but my heart is narrow when it comes to you. I give you my full gaze. Let that reality wash over your fears. Let it undo the lies of worthlessness. Let it heal the wounds of being overlooked. Because I see you. I always have. I always will. And my gaze is never without purpose. It's the beginning of divine release. Beloved, come closer now. Let your heart breathe in the truth. I've waited for this precise moment to pour over you. You've walked through long corridors of service, sacrifice, and selflessness, and the halls were quiet. You've poured out from places of emptiness, loved from reservoirs no one refilled, and stood in shadows where no hand reached out to pull you into the light. Not once did you ask for reward. Not once did you demand recognition. And yet I saw you look around in moments, wondering, does anyone see what I'm carrying? Does anyone notice what I'm laying down in secret? And here I am, whispering across the veil of heaven into your heart. Yes, I see. Yes, I've noticed. Yes, I've recorded every step. You see, the world measures with applause, but I measure with alignment. They wait for noise. I wait for height. They give crowns to those in the spotlight. I give kingdoms to those in surrender. When you thought your days were quiet and unseen, I was chronicling each one like chapters in a book too holy for human hands. I saw when you encouraged others while your own soul starved for a kind word. I saw when you helped others heal while your wounds still bled beneath your clothes. I saw when you kept showing up, with consistency, with humility, with tenderness, even when your own needs went unmet. Heaven doesn't operate on human currency. We don't pay in praise. We reward in purpose. Your consistency in the unseen was not wasted, not forgotten. It has been stored in vaults of glory, reserved for a moment such as this. Let me be precise, because this must pierce through the noise of every lie that tried to tell you otherwise. I don't record deeds the way man does. I record depth. I don't celebrate charisma. I honor character. Every time you said yes when no would have been easier, every time you turned the other cheek when retaliation tempted your soul, every time you offered love that wasn't returned, I documented it. Not as a judge tallying performance, but as a father treasuring faithfulness. I did not record your actions to examine them. I recorded them to remember them, to redeem them, to reward them. And now, child, the record of your perseverance is echoing through eternity. The applause you never received on earth is thundering in heaven. And I am preparing a public unveiling of what was sown in your silent seasons. But don't mistake my timing as delay. I was preserving, not postponing. I was storing, not ignoring. You've cried tears over being overlooked, but I was writing your legacy while others clapped for temporary sparks. You've carried the weight of destiny without the comfort of approval, but I am about to shift the script. What was ignored by men will be highlighted by me. I have not missed a step. I have not missed a sigh. I have not missed a single day of your journey. I recorded every one because every one was sacred. And now, beloved, I am opening the scroll, not to remind you of what you've done, but to show you what I am about to do because of it. Child, let's talk about the private places, The places where the camera doesn't capture, the audience doesn't sit, the applause doesn't ring out. The sacred moments where your heart was split between what was easy and what was right. When temptation knocked loudly, when compromise stood inches away, and no one would have known if you said yes. But you didn't. You walked away. You chose integrity over indulgence. You chose truth over convenience. You chose me, not because it earned you applause, but because it aligned with who I created you to be. That kind of obedience, child, it shakes realms. That kind of decision doesn't disappear, it is immortalized in the vaults of heaven. You gave grace when anger would have felt better. You stayed silent when you had every right to retaliate. You honored when others dishonored. You forgave without receiving an apology. You took the higher road when the lower one would have satisfied your pain. And you did it in secret. In your kitchen. In your car. In your room. With your jaw clenched and your spirit trembling, you whispered, "I choose you, Lord." And I heard it. I didn't just hear the words, I heard the weight behind them. I heard the war inside you. I heard the ache that decision cost you. And I celebrated. The angels marveled. You don't understand, child. The secret places are the proving grounds of royalty. What you chose behind closed doors has qualified you for what I'm opening in public spaces. The grace you gave when you wanted to collapse, that was an act of supernatural strength. You thought you were just being kind. You thought you were just being good. But I call it kingdom work. I call it covenant faithfulness. And I have seen every single moment. Not with indifference. With hope. Because what you've done in secret carries the kind of weight that no platform could sustain unless it was forged in my presence. What others do for recognition, you did out of reverence. What others shouted from rooftops, you whispered in prayer. And child, it is those whispers that have stirred heaven to respond. Let me say it clearly. Your private choices have positioned you for public release. This is not about earning blessing. This is about qualifying your vessel. You've been pruned, not punished. You've been hidden, not held back. I saw every invisible act of holiness. And now the time has come. The same integrity that cost you comfort is now going to anchor the promotion I'm bringing. You will carry influence without being corrupted by. You will carry power without performing for it. Because you were refined in secret, you are ready for what I'm about to release in the open. Heaven saw it all. And now, child, heaven is about to respond with a reward shaped exactly like your obedience. Today is not just another date on a calendar, my beloved. It is not a routine sunrise or a normal rotation of time. Today carries a weight, a holy weight, because I have wrapped this moment in divine intent. You may not feel it yet. You may still be waking up under the cloud of yesterday's disappointments or tomorrow's uncertainties. But even now, as you breathe in and exhale, the very air around you is heavy with my presence. Every second of today has been carved with precision by my hand. It is not empty. It is not accidental. This day is a throne room invitation dressed as ordinary life. You're not just walking through hours. You're walking into alignment. You're stepping into a sequence that heaven has choreographed for breakthrough. Can you feel it, child? The stillness that doesn't feel like silence but expectation. The subtle awareness that something is hovering just beyond the veil. That's not imagination. That's my presence. The atmosphere is responding to my word. The wind, the temperature, the very pulse of the unseen realm is shifting around your steps because I have leaned in. When I come close, the mundane trembles. The routine starts to rupture. What you thought would be just another day is now being rearranged as a holy doorway. There is a tremor of the divine beneath your ordinary. I have placed signatures of my intention all around you. Divine fingerprints on door handles, sacred signals in phone calls, holy hints in the kindness of strangers. You don't need fireworks to know I'm near. Listen to the silence. It's saturated. Watch the ordinary. It's glowing with glory. This day is different because I've walked into it with you in mind. I need you to wake up to this moment with your spirit, not just your senses. Because what I'm doing isn't loud, but it's lasting. You may not hear trumpets, but the angels are already singing. You may not see a crowd, but the cloud of witnesses is standing in awe. The King of Glory has made an appearance in your timeline, not to spectate, but to shift, to stir, to shake. I am unraveling delay. I am dismantling patterns. I am disarming the lies that tried to tie this day to your past. You see, child, today's a severing and a sewing. I am severing the cords of what held you back, and I am sewing together the tapestry of what will carry you forward. You thought today would be quiet. I say today is consecrated, and heaven is responding, not to your performance, but to my presence in your life. So don't shrug off this day. Don't rush through it as if it holds nothing. It holds everything. I have hidden miracles in moments. I have disguised deliverance in details. This isn't just time passing, it's time pregnant with prophecy. I am here, right now. And because I am here, this moment is no longer common. This air is no longer empty. It is electric. It is sacred. And as you move through this day with open eyes and a ready heart, you will begin to catch it, the holy interruptions, the divine whispers, the inexplicable peace that wasn't there yesterday. You will see the signs and know, heaven was watching me and heaven was waiting for this day to begin writing what only glory could author. Today is not just time, it is testimony in the making. Come here, beloved. Sit in this moment with me. I want to talk to the part of you that no one sees, the version of you that smiles publicly and breaks privately. You've been walking a long road, carrying promises that haven't yet unfolded, clinging to prayers that feel like they dissolve into the ceiling, holding fast to hope even when it trembled in your hands like a flickering flame. I know how hard it's been. I watched when your knees hit the floor in desperation, when your voice cracked from praying the same words again and again, when your heart whispered, God, I'm trying. I'm really trying. And you've tried to be faithful when answers were absent, when the heavens felt closed, and when your strength felt like sand slipping through your fingers. But child, hear me now. I never looked away. I know you thought, maybe he's disappointed in me. Maybe my doubt has disqualified me. But that's not truth. That's torment. Your doubt didn't disqualify you. Your trying didn't go unnoticed. Faithfulness is not perfection. Faithfulness is persistence. And you persisted. When others walked away, you walked further in. When others gave out, you gave again. When others cursed the waiting, you worshipped in it. You didn't get it right every time, but you showed up anyway. You stayed. You stood. You waited with a trembling hope and a tired soul. That's not weakness, child. That's warrior strength. That's heaven-marked perseverance. And I want you to know something the enemy never wanted you to believe. Every moment of your trying was measured as worship in my presence. Yes, even the weak yes you mumbled through tears counted more than the loud declarations of those who have never been tested. You carried heavy hope like a crown, even when it felt like a cross. You've kept believing even when the evidence mocked you. You've trusted me with your future while your present felt like rubble. And that kind of faith is not fragile, it's fire. I've used that fire to refine, not punish. To prepare, not delay. You thought nothing was happening, but everything was. In the silence, I was building. In the waiting, I was weaving. In the weariness, I was working. Your trying was never a waste. It was the turning point. It was the raw material I used to shape a glory you couldn't yet see. And now, beloved, I'm about to show you the harvest of every halting step of obedience. So do not despise the season where all you did was try. I honor the one who keeps coming back with empty hands but an open heart. I honor the one who stays when everything screams to run. I honor you. Your faithfulness has not gone unnoticed, and your fatigue has not been judged. I'm not just aware of your trying, I'm proud of it. And now, the trying is becoming triumph. Not because the wait was short, but because the wait didn't steal your yes. You held on, even when your grip was weak. And I'm holding you. Now watch, child. What I'm about to release will feel like the weight of hope being lifted, and the wind of my promise finally blowing at your back. You tried, and I never stopped watching. Now I'm responding, not with delay, but with destiny. My precious one, if only you could see what I see when I look upon your life. If you could catch even a glimpse of the way heaven observes you, not with cold examination or critical distance, but with the tender awe of eternity watching courage unfold in real time. I don't measure your life by failures or flawless performances. I measure by faith. I weigh the weight of your endurance, not the elegance of your expression. I watch the tears that fall when no one is around and call them holy. I listen not just to your prayers, but to the groans that had no words, the sighs that cracked through your chest when you thought no one was listening. I am. And not just listening, honoring. My gaze is not a spotlight to expose you. My gaze is a mantle to cover you. When I watch you, I do not flinch at your flaws. I marvel at your faith that refuses to die. You've stirred something sacred, something eternal, something rare. Heaven doesn't lean in for the proud. Heaven kneels for the persevering. You've endured seasons that scorch your confidence, yet you refused to let go of hope. You've walked through trials designed to unravel you, and still you held me with trembling hands. That, child, is a sacred defiance. That is holy resistance. While others bowed to bitterness, you bent your knees in prayer. While others let go, you held on, imperfectly, painfully, but persistently. And that persistence reached me. It reverberated in heaven's chambers. It sounded like worship, like a warrior's roar, like thunder clothed in humility. Your endurance is not weakness stretched thin, it's strength stretched wide. You've become a testimony before your miracle even arrived. You need to know, your endurance has moved me. Not because you earned something my suffering, but because you trusted me when it didn't make sense. Do you understand how rare that is in a world of quick exits and short attention spans? When others gave up, you went deeper. When others chose ease, you chose obedience. You've built altars with your tears. You've planted seeds with your weariness. You sacrificed comfort to remain close to me. And that, my child, has weight. Eternal weight. Glory weight. And the time has come for that weight to be honored with a response. I am not passive about your perseverance. I'm not indifferent to your integrity. Heaven is not simply observing you. Heaven is preparing to reward you. So don't shrink under the assumption that you're being scrutinized. Lift your head and realize you're being celebrated. Not in flattery, but in truth. Not for perfection, but for your posture. The posture of a heart that kept bowing, kept believing, kept breathing, even when surrounded by silence. I've seen every trembling step. And I declare today, it wasn't in vain. It was in view. In my view. And what hath been seen in secret is about to be honored in the open. You stirred the heavens, child. And now get ready. The shift that is cunning carries the scent of your sacrifice and the power of my presence. And because heaven is watching you today, I want you to know, it's not just watching your tears or your triumphs. It's watching your heart to give. My word says in this very hour, he who sows generously will also reap generously. And this, child, is good soil. When you support this mission, you don't just send money, you send fire. You release soil into the lamps of others who are walking in the dark, unsure that I see them too. I am inviting you now. Be the one who keeps the light burning. Your generosity will ripple like a river into hearts across nations. I will bless your seed with uncommon favor, stretch it like the widow's oil, and multiply it like the loaves and fish. Click the super thanks, join the membership, or give through PayPal now. Do it boldly, because this is more than supported spiritual warfare. Come closer, my child. Let me speak directly to that place inside you that's convinced you're at your end. That quiet, aching belief that you stretched too far, held on too long, stayed strong too deeply. I see it. The silent suspicion that maybe you've exhausted all you have. But let me tell you a holy secret. This isn't the end of your strength. It's the unveiling of it. You haven't run out. You've just reached the layer that was hidden for such a time as this. Like roots beneath the surface, your strength hasn't disappeared. It's deepened. You've been buried and not broken. Pressed, not perished. Hidden, not hopeless. And what's about to emerge is not leftover willpower. It's divine resilience, forged in fire and watered by faith. You thought resilience was simply not quitting. But I say to you now, resilience is revelation. It's the revealing of what I built in you while the storm tried to erase you. Every time you thought, I can't do this, but still did, that was resilience. Every time you dragged your hope into another day, every time you returned to me without answers, every time you stayed when you could have escaped, that was the strength I'm now unveiling. It's not the kind that gets praised on platforms. It's the kind that shakes principalities. It's not loud. It's lethal. Not pretty, but powerful. It is celebrated not with human words, but with angelic movement. And in realms you cannot yet see, there is a celebration underway, not because you were strong in public, but because you were faithful in private. Heaven does not clap for hollow achievements. It rises in honor for holy resilience. And that is what you've lived, breathed, and bled in the quiet corners of your life. There are angels right now recounting your decisions, not your dramatic moments, but your daily faith. The grind of grace, the discipline of devotion, invisible sacrifices, the unseen worship, the yes that no one heard but me. That is what heaven calls strength. And now, as your earthly strength feels like it's flickering, I am revealing the deeper reservoir. You are stronger than you know, not because you've never felt weak, but because you never surrendered to that weakness. You allowed yourself to feel, but not to forfeit. And now, I am bringing to the surface the kind of strength that makes mountains move and miracles manifest. So don't misread your exhaustion as emptiness. It's a holy signal that the season is shifting. The strength that's coming forth now isn't human. It's heaven-infused. I am growing it out. I'm growing it up. Not for a show, but for a shift. What I've built in you through the darkest nights is about to be revealed in daylight. The enemy hoped you'd mistake your weariness for worthlessness. But I've hidden glory in your grit. This unveiling will not just surprise those around you, It will surprise you. You'll begin to walk in rooms that felt too big and realize you were built for this. Because I built you. And I never build small when I see deep. And in you, child, I saw oceans of strength. So now, let me unveil what was always there. This is not your end. This is your becoming. Child of my heart, let me take you back to some moments you might have brushed past, moments the world ignored, but I recorded with reverence. Do you remember when you stood at the edge of anger, when every fiber in you screamed to lash out, to retaliate, to give people a taste of the pain they inflicted? But instead, you forgave. Not because it felt fair, not because it was easy, but because something deeper in you trusted me more than your feelings. You chose forgiveness over bitterness. That was not weakness. That was not submission to injustice. That was a sword of the Spirit slicing through the enemy's plan to embitter your soul. And the moment you chose mercy when revenge seemed justified, heaven thundered. Yes, louder than storms, louder than choirs, your quiet decision shook my courts because it was drenched in divine courage. And that wasn't the only time. I watched you when your mind was flooded with worry, when bills mounted, when doctors gave bad news, when your heart trembled with uncertainty. You had every earthly reason to spiral, but you lifted your hands. You whispered, I trust you. You sang songs you barely had the strength to believe. You danced with knees that buckled under pressure. That kind of worship isn't ordinary. It's weaponized wonder. It moves mountains, parts waters, and paralyzes hell. You didn't sing because everything was solved. You sang because you believed I still sat on the throne. And child, when a heart praises in the face of panic, the sound echoes across realms. Angels pause. Demons tremble. I lean in closer. That's what you did. That's what you've been doing. Choosing worship when worry tried to weave itself around your thoughts like a web. I remember also the moments when time seemed to stretch too long, when doors didn't open, when people didn't change, when prayers didn't seem to move. Everything in you wanted to act in haste, to grab control, to make something happen just to feel some progress. But instead, you chose patience over panic. You waited. Not passively, but faithfully. You waited when it hurt. You waited when it didn't make sense. You waited when others mocked you for it. That kind of patience is not silence. It's spiritual power. You were planting roots while others chased results. And I took note. Because patience is worship in disguise. It tells me you trust my timing more than your own comfort. And when you live that way, when you trust me before the miracle, you make declarations that resound through the heavens. So I want you to know, these moments matter more than you realize. They weren't invisible to me. They were immortalized by me. When you chose the harder path, when you picked me over your pride, when you turned your pain into a platform of praise that became an anthem in heaven. And now, the moments that seemed quiet on earth are causing a sound in the spirit that is impossible to ignore. You think you've just been surviving. But I tell you this day, you've been sounding alarms in the spirit, ringing bells in the unseen, shifting atmospheres just by your holy decisions. The world saw nothing. Heaven saw everything. And the courts of glory have already begun their response. Come close again, my beloved. There's something sacred I want to show you, something that's been unfolding in the invisible even while you wept in the visible. You remember those moments, don't you? The ones when saying yes to me cost you something. Not just convenience or comfort, but security, reputation, relationships. Those moments where obedience felt like sacrifice, not celebration. When the road you took was lonelier. when the choice you made meant letting go of what others clung to. Those yes whispers, spoken with trembling lips and tear-streaked cheeks, they did not vanish into the void. They rose. They ascended like incense into my courts. And I did not just receive them, I turned them into banners of victory. Let me tell you what happens when my child says yes in pain. The kind of yes doesn't just shift things in your life, it shifts dimensions. It silences accusations. It releases angels. It makes the enemy's plans collapse under the weight of your surrender. You didn't know it then, but each time you whispered, "Yes, Lord," while your heart was breaking, you were raising a standard. A banner in the spirit was unfurled with your name etched into it. Heaven saw it. Hell hated it. But I celebrated it. Because that kind of yes is rare. It's not the yes of a comfortable disciple. It's the yes of a devoted warrior. And you, child, you have become my warrior, not because you fought with swords, but because you stood in surrender. You see, banners in the natural world are symbols. They declare a victory and cause a claim. In the spirit, your painful obedience has become a declaration that you belong to me. It has marked territory that the enemy thought he owned. Where your pain tried to define you, your yes redefined the landscape. It carved a place of promise out of disappointment. That yes took root, and it has begun to bloom. You haven't seen all the fruit yet, but heaven has. And I assure you, child, I am not just holding your yes, I am building upon it. I am establishing legacy upon it. I am using it as a blueprint for breakthrough in generations beyond you. Your yes has become a yes for others, opening doors they didn't know they could walk through because you obeyed when it hurt most. So let me say this clearly, with fire and finality. I will not let your yes return void. I will not let your sacrifice sit in silence. I am raising you up, banner bearer. The same places where you once bled will now be the stages where you proclaim victory. And the same enemy that tried to silence your yes will watch as I promote the very obedience he tried to shame. Every whispered yes, every broken but believing yes, has been turned into a war cry in the spirit. And I have declared over your life, this one has chosen me, even through pain, and now I will choose to honor them in ways no eye has seen, no ear has heard, no mind can yet imagine. The banners are waving. The heavens are responding. And your next yes, it won't come from pain, it will come from the overflow of what I'm about to do. My beloved child, let me unravel a lie that's been whispering to you in the quiet, the lie that you are unseen, unnoticed, forgotten. The world can be a loud place, and silence can feel like rejection. I know there have been seasons where your prayers echoed back like unanswered calls, where your faith felt like a one-way conversation, where you looked up at the sky and wondered, God, are you still listening? And today, I answer you not with rebuke, but with revelation. I never turned away. I never closed my ears. I never took my eyes off you. You haven't been invisible to me, not for a second. My silence was never my absence. It was my preparation. It was me working beneath the surface, in the stillness, in the hidden folds of time, orchestrating what could not yet be revealed. You see, there is a weight to glory, and there is a process to purpose. And while you were waiting, I was weaving. While you were worshiping in the dark, I was building a platform of light. While you were questioning, I was answering, just not in the way you expected. Because some answers are not words, they are works. And I was working. I was not idle in the quiet. I was intentional. I used silence as soil. I planted promises in the places where you thought I'd gone quiet. And like seeds, they had to be covered, buried even, so that they could break open at the right time. You thought the covering meant neglect. But in my kingdom, covering means protection. It means preparation. It means something sacred is happening out of sight. I watched you faithfully carry out days that felt thankless. I saw you smile at others while you yourself were starving for encouragement. I saw you lead, give, serve, and show up while wondering if anyone knew the cost behind your obedience. I knew. And I wasn't watching from afar. I was holding the strands of your life in my hands, weaving them into something breathtaking. You felt like you were drifting, but I was anchoring you. You felt lost in the crowd, but I was singling you out for something only you could carry. And just because I didn't always answer in the way you wanted, don't think for a moment I was distant. My silence was never punishment. It was the sound of divine strategy. So listen closely now. I am about to make noise on your behalf. I am about to break the silence with sudden signs, undeniable shifts, and holy encounters that confirm what your spirit held onto in the absence of evidence. The very silence you thought was abandonment will be revealed as the sacred womb where purpose was formed. The stillness was not my neglect, it was my nest. I tucked you in where no storm could reach. And now, the season of silence is giving birth to the sound of fulfillment. You were never invisible. You were incubated. And what's been growing in the quiet is now about to be released in the open. Heaven saw it all. And now heaven speaks. My faithful one, come closer still. Let me speak to the battle you fought silently. The battle where you felt your faith was fragile, barely hanging on, thin like a thread fraying at the edges. I know the shame that tried to wrap itself around your heart when your belief didn't feel bold. I know the guilt that whispered, you should be stronger by now. But I want you to know the truth, the divine truth that I've written across your life. I was never looking for perfect faith. I was watching for persistent faith. And my beloved, you had it. Even in your weakness, even in your confusion, even in your trembling, tired moments, you had it. The kind of faith that heaven stands for. The kind of faith that hell fears. The kind of faith that moves mountains, not with shouts, but with stubborn surrender. Yes, your faith felt small at times, but it never stopped showing up. It showed up when you got out of bed with heaviness sitting on your chest. It showed up when you prayed prayers you weren't sure I'd answer. It showed up when you lifted your hands during worship, even though your heart was breaking. That kind of faith, child, is the stuff of miracles. The world applauds flashy faith, the kind that looks confident and loud. But I celebrate the faith that keeps walking even when it's limping. I honor the faith that whispers, I still believe, while wiping away tears. That's what you've done. That's who you are. And it's moved more in the spirit than you know. The mountains didn't fall with drama. They bowed quietly because your quiet faith carried a roar only the heavens could hear. Let me show you what your persistence did. It changed timelines. It rerouted outcomes. It blocked attacks you never saw. It delayed disasters the enemy tried to schedule. It created space for me to move on your behalf without you even knowing it. You didn't always feel powerful, but you were. Every time you chose to trust instead of retreat, you carved out a space for heaven to land. Your faith built altars in the wilderness. Your prayers paved roads for angels. Your sighs became signals. And even when you thought your prayers were ineffective, I was catching them like seeds, and child, they are sprouting now. You may not have seen the mountain move, but I saw it shift. And the shift is real. The shift is permanent. Because you wouldn't stop believing, even when belief felt like a burden. So stop minimizing what you carried. Don't say, It was just a little faith. That little faith fed nations in the spirit. That little faith fought off legions. That little faith outlasted storms. And now I'm turning the page. The season of holding on is becoming the season of stepping in. Because your persistence has unlocked something. It has summoned my favor in fresh waves. It has drawn the attention of heaven's army. And now I say to you, what your small faith sustained, my strong hand will now complete. You've carried much with little. Now I will pour much because of your little. Your mustard seed moved me. And now I will move mountains on your behalf. Not just to show my power, but to honor your persistence. My beloved child, listen to my whisper across the vast canopy of your life. You thought your story was overlooked. You believed that your season of waiting was a sign of abandonment, that your perseverance was ignored, that your faithfulness was meaningless because no human hand reached out to confirm it. I know the long nights when you asked, "Am I forgotten? Does anyone see what I'm doing?" I know the mornings when you woke up with the ache of insignificance pressing on your chest. You carried burdens in silence. You held hope. You walked through corridors where the echoes of your efforts seemed to bounce back into emptiness. But child, hear me now. I have been scripting a response so divine it required precise timing. I was not absent. I was authoring. I was not ignoring. I was orchestrating. And I needed the exact moment, the exact alignment of heaven and earth, to mark what you've carried with proper power. In my view, nothing you did was unseen. Nothing you hoped for was hopeless. Nothing you endured was in vain. Even when the world did acknowledge you, I recorded you. Every tear, every hidden prayer, every moment you lifted your gaze when you felt like collapsing. I noted them. I held them. I preserved them. And I wrote a story around them that would not only vindicate you, but exalt you. Because you were not simply enduring for endurance's sake. You were becoming. You were being prepared. The fact that your story seemed quiet to you was not evidence of neglect. It was a sign of the sacred pause. When I pause, it's not because I'm unsure, it's because I'm perfecting. When I delay, it's not because I've forgotten. It's because I'm ensuring the moment of revelation will overflow with my glory. Your overlooked season was never a failure. It was the hidden passage to the final chapter, where I make public what you carried privately, where I promote your worship in the waiting to winning in the waking, where I lift your story from shadowed subterfuge into spotlighted significance. So now the timing is ripe. The alignment is settling. The moment for your response is not tomorrow. It is dawning today. I am bringing you into the intersection of my plan and your patience, and there the world will see what only heaven knew. The very place you felt overlooked will become the vantage point from which you will witness my deliverance. Your name, once whispered in fear, will be proclaimed in power. Your faith, once questioned by your own doubt, will be showcased as evidence of my promise. And your heart, once heavy with hiding, will become light with healing. Child, you thought your story was overlooked. But I say to you, the response I have written is so divine that it could not be rushed. It required my precision. It required your perseverance. And now it demands revelation. Are you ready? The curtain is lifting. Heaven is clearing the stage. And I, your God, am about to stand you before the applause you always deserve. My child, hear me now. Today is not just another day of observation. Heaven isn't merely watching your life unfold like a passive spectator. No, I am not distant. I am responding. The hosts of heaven are not idle. They are moving. The atmosphere above you is shifting. The unseen realm is reconfiguring in your favor. You may not yet see all the strands, but this moment is marked. movements have begun. And they have begun in the very air you breathe, the very steps you take, the very advances you make, even before you realize them. For too long the enemy whispered lies that you were stuck, stalled, static. But I declare, you are moving. Not only in your mind, not only in your faith, but in your destiny. Imagine this, an army of angels, a cosmic court, a sovereign God, every posture adjusted, every gesture poised. Why? Because your moment has come. The delay was not denial, it was design. The silence was not vacancy, it was vacuuming for my voice to fill. The wait was not a failure, it was affirmation. And now my response is not slow, it is seismic. I am shifting things behind the scenes so the fronts you face will tremble when they meet what I have prepared. You see the same old problems rising, the same old battles fronting you. But they will not finish you, because the atmosphere that watches is the same atmosphere that wars. And I have released war orders for your breakthrough. So don't be surprised if people start noticing. Don't be startled if things begin to move in ways that defy logic. Don't be confused when doors open that you didn't knock on. Don't be overwhelmed when favor finds you in unexpected places. All of this is not luck. It's not coincidence. It's my response to your faith. It's the movement of heaven's court for the one who kept trusting when evidence remained silent. I am proclaiming, your obedience in darkness has triggered favor in daylight. Movements have begun. The shift is real. The alignment is set. The countdown is complete. And I, your God, stand ready, arms extended, to lift you out of waiting, into worship, into victory, into your rightful place. The watchers on the throne are no longer just observing. They are acting. And you, my child, you are not just the object of attention. You are the target of activation. Rejoice. Prepare. Walk in faith like never before. Because today heaven responds. My beloved, I want you to pause with me in this sacred moment and let me pull back the veil. There's something you've not yet seen, not because you're blind, but because your view hath been battered by years of rejection, misunderstanding, and misplaced identity. You've spent too long questioning your worth based on how others received or dismissed you. You've seen yourself through the fractured mirrors of comparison and the blurred lenses of past failures. But I have not. No, child. I have seen you clearly, always. While you wrestled with self-doubt, I was sculpting your identity. While you hid behind shame and silence, I was announcing your name in heavenly places. While you wondered, am I enough? I was declaring, you are chosen. And now, the moment is near. I've been setting the stage, not for a performance, but for an unveiling. Not for approval, but for awakening. I'm not just calling others to see you. I'm calling you to see you. You've heard the applause for others and wondered if there'd ever be a moment when your name would be celebrated. And I tell you this, your moment has not passed. It has been preserved. Not because you weren't ready, but because I was preparing the audience, the atmosphere, the alignment. I could not allow premature unveiling to fracture what I've spent so long healing. You thought you were disqualified, but I was qualifying you in silence. You thought you were delayed, but I was developing a depth in you that cannot be duplicated. The unveiling is not about fame. It's about fulfillment. I want you to see who you are in me, not who you were in trauma, not who you were in survival, but who you are in truth, in calling, in legacy. The unveiling is cunning, and it will shock even you, because you look in the mirror and finally say, now I see it, now I see me. Let me tell you something sacred. You were never meant to blend in. That ache you've carried, the one that whispered, "I was made for more," it wasn't arrogance. It was alignment. It was me pressing truth into your spirit before your mind could comprehend it. The reason you've always felt a little out of step with your surroundings is because you were never designed to follow their rhythm. I've had you on a different tempo, a divine tempo, and now the tempo is quickening. The unveiling isn't to make you impressive. It's to make you impactful. You are a carrier of something weighty, something eternal. And in this next season, the world will not only see your fruit, they will taste of your faithfulness. The seeds you sowed in secret will bloom in sight, and they will wonder, where did this one come from? And I will answer, from my secret place, from my heart. So don't shrink back. Don't apologize for the anointing that's about to rest visibly upon you. This isn't pride, it's prophecy being fulfilled. You were never hidden to be forgotten. You were hidden to be healed, so that when I unveiled you, you wouldn't need validation to stand. You'd stand because you finally know who you are. And now the curtain is rising. Not for show, for purpose, for kingdom movement. And for once, beloved, you're going to see what I've seen all along. You are not emerging. You are unveiling. This is not your introduction. It is your revelation. Heaven is watching. The angels are leaning in. And your spirit is about to catch up with what I've declared from the beginning. You are my masterpiece. Now let the world see what I designed in the dark. Come here, child. I need to speak to the ache you've carried beneath the surface, the tension, the weight, the pressure. It hasn't been random. It hasn't been punishment. It's been preparation. You've wondered why things have felt so intense, why life has pressed down on you from every angle, why you've barely had space to breathe between breakthroughs and breakdowns. It's because heaven's hands have been upon you, not crushing you but molding you, not bruising you but building you. I've been forming your destiny under divine pressure. Because what I'm placing inside you requires a vessel that has been tested, tempered, and trusted. Diamonds are not formed in comfort. Oil is not released without pressing. And I have called you to carry a weight of glory, which means I had to allow the pressure to shape you for it. You felt stretched, but I was expanding you. You felt crushed, but I was extracting treasure from within you. Every season of tension wasn't a trap. It was a training ground. I was teaching you endurance, focused discernment. I was sculpting your character to carry your calling. The pressure wasn't a sign of my absence. It was proof of my proximity. Only the potter places his hands on the clay. Only the Creator draws close enough to mold what he deems precious. I've been close, child, closer than you knew. And I haven't just watched you endure the pressure. I've been right there, holding you through it, whispering, "Don't break. You're becoming." And even when you thought you had shattered, I caught every piece. I didn't let you fall apart. I allowed what was false to fall away. Now listen carefully. The pressure you felt is lifting, but not because it was meaningless. It's because its purpose is complete. You've been shaped for what's next. You've been carved for what's coming. You've been pressed for the anointing that's about to pour through you. Others will see the oil. They'll marvel at the grace, the authority, the power you walk in. But only you and I will know the cost, the pressure that built the capacity. And that, beloved, is why I honored your silence in suffering. I didn't expose the process because I was protecting the purity of it. You didn't need to explain your pain to others. I knew it. I felt it. And now I will reward it. Not with ease, but with elevation. Not with pity, but with power. What the enemy tried to use as suffocation, I used as shaping. And the shape you carry now is fit for glory. So walk forward with confidence, not because everything feels light yet, but because the weight that once formed you will now favor you. The same hands that pressed are now propelling. The same tension that confined you will now launch you. I shaped you with pressure so that no man can take credit for what's about to flow from you. This isn't manufactured. It's molded. This isn't for show. It's for service. You were pressed for a purpose, and now that purpose is poised to be fulfilled. Heaven is not only watching, it is releasing. The molding has made you unshakable. The pressure has proven your promise. And the glory, child, it's ready to rest upon you. My precious child, hear my voice in the whispering of the wind, in the stillness of your soul, in the stirring of your spirit. A shift is coming. I know the weight you've carried, the long nights when you prayed and heard silence, the slow mornings when you rose though your heart was heavy, the days when you stayed faithful even though everything in you screamed, I'm done. You did not see all the signs. You did not get all the confirmations. You did not receive the applause. Yet you stayed. You did not walk away. You kept on. And now, beloved, obedience has matured. It has ripened. The seed you planted with trembling hands is ready for harvest. The time has arrived not because it's easy, but because your faithfulness has built capacity for my breakthrough. You might ask, why does it feel like I'm still in the tunnel, Lord? Why does the light still seem distant? Because the shift I'm bringing is not about making things simpler. It's about making you stronger. It's not about removing every battle, but about repositioning you in the victory. Your obedience was not just a waiting room. It was the training ground. Every sacrifice you made, every moment you chose me when it was hard, every time you walked through the fire and did not burn, that was building you for this. And now my shift is not random, is intentional, is exacted. The gears of the unseen world are turning. The atmosphere is changing. Not because your path is clear of conflict, but because you now carry my glory through it. You will feel the shift, not because everything becomes easy, but because everything becomes immeasurably more meaningful. Let me speak plainly. When breakthrough comes, your world will not collapse under the weight of it. It will expand. When I bring the shift, walls that felt like boundaries will become springboards. Chains you thought were permanent will become conduits of my power. The breakthrough won't excuse your past pain. It will honor it. Your previous obedience, your silent nights, your unanswered questions, they all converge and now form the foundation of a new era. You will feel the shift because your environment will begin to respond to your spirit rather than your spirit reacting to your environment. Your heart will rise, not because storms ceased, but because my presence became stronger than the storms. You will stand in a new dimension, not because you earned it, but because you endured it. So lift your face now in faith. Do not brace for rescue, brace for release. Not from all trials, but into my triumph. I am not just unlocking doors. I am turning the hinges. I am not just clearing paths. I am creating highways. You will feel it. You may not always see the full picture, but you will sense the lifting. The burden will remain far behind. The victory will stand before you. Your obedience has matured into breakthrough. Prepare your heart, my child, because I am coming in your favor with full force. A shift is real. A shift is imminent. And you are right at the cusp of the manifestation of all you held by faith. Child, do you feel that shift in the air? That's not just breakthrough approaching, that's heaven responding to your faith. And now I say to you, don't just receive the word, become a vessel that carries it. Through your giving, you become a river that pours my truth into hearts I am watching right now, hearts on the edge of despair. The same way I've watched over you, I am calling you to watch over others, to help carry my message farther, deeper, wider. When you give into this soil, I pour back in ways you cannot measure. Give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. What leaves your hand does not leave your life. It multiplies in mine. Act now. Give through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, and watch what I will do. My beloved, pause for a moment, and let me remind you, silence does not mean absence. The fact that you did not always hear my voice in an upper does not mean my heart was hardened toward you. I was never distant. I never turned away. When you felt alone, unseen, ignored, that with the enemy's light. Because I, the God who formed you in the womb, the God who numbered your days before they began, the God who carried you before you even knew to carry your own burdens, I was right there, documenting every sacred step you took. Every time you leaned in when you should have leaned out, every time you chose truth when lying would have been easier, every time you said yes with trembling lips. I was writing that down in the book of remembrance, and I have not forgotten a page. You might look at your life and say, God, why did you feel silent when I cried out? Why did I walk through the fire and feel like you were on the sidelines? And I respond with holy clarity, because I was working in the silence, because I was gathering strength in the background, because I was choosing to honor your faithfulness with my timing, not your desperation. The stillness around you, that felt heavy, was not an indication that I had lost interest. It was a signal that something sacred was unfolding. While you were quiet, I was creating movement. While you were hidden, I was setting you up for visibility. You not mistake stillness for absence. I am not passive. I am not idle. I am not indifferent. I am deliberate. And now, child, I will say this. The documentation is turning into demonstration. What was secret is becoming seen. What was recorded is becoming revealed. The book of your life has pages of providence, of prayers in the dark, of steps taken without applause, all of which I preserved. And the world may not yet have read those pages, but heaven has, and heaven is responding. The stillness will break. The snapshot will show. A release will come. Do not let your heart believe the lie that because you did not see it, it did not happen. Because I did not leave you. I did not lose you. I did not abandon you. I simply worked in the stillness so that when I reveal you, you will not need to beg for validation. You will stand validated. So breathe in my peace. Breathe in my promise. And hold your head high, for your story is not deflated. It is destined. Do not look at your quiet and assume it is empty. Look at it and say, God, I trust that you were writing what the eye cannot see. Because you were. And now you are about to watch it walk out. Stillness is not absence. It is the womb of the miracle. Your faith has been documented. Your life hath been noticed. And I, your God, will soon reveal what I protected in the silence. You were never ignored. You were always inscribed. And my release is coming. My beloved child, I want you to feel my voice in this moment, reaching across the secret places of your life. The rooms where you cried alone, the midnight hours when you whispered hope through tears, the hidden corners where you carried burdens no one weighed. I saw every tremor of your spirit when you thought no one watched. I cataloged every sigh when you thought I had turned away. I heard every unspoken prayer that trembled on your lips. And though the world lacked an audience, heaven was listening. What you endured in silence, yes, every quiet struggle, Every private sorrow is now being raised up. I tell you with divine certainty, your story is being shouted in the halls of glory, not for your pride, but for my purpose. Because I do not waste suffering, I transform it. I do not overlook tears, I honor them. What you thought was invisible is becoming irresistible. You might think suffering is merely a season to survive, a hardship to endure. But my child, suffering is a secret stamp of destiny. When you pressed into me instead of pushing away, when you held fast when letting go seemed easier, when you believed me in the dark, it did more than sustain you and qualified you. In heaven's perspective, your silence is sacred. Your waiting is holy. The angels are not mutely observing. They are recording. They are preparing a proclamation. And now you are stepping into that moment where what you carried quietly is no longer hidden. It is heralded. I have looked on in loving patience while you felt it visible among men. I kept my eyes fixed on you when you thought your prayers were falling into the void. I nurtured the roots of your faith when the soil around you seemed dry. And now the tree is ready to bear fruit. Loud fruit, vivid fruit, visible fruit. The silence is giving way to sound. The waiting is giving way to witness. Allow me to speak plainly. This is not secondary. This is not consolation for a life of lack. This is vindication. I am vindicating you in the very arenas where you were underestimated. The hidden pain, the unseen loyalty, the unacknowledged surrender, all of it is becoming voice. In the courts of heaven, your name is being lifted, your journey is being advertised, your faithfulness is being applauded. You will see testimonies born from the heroism of your humble endurance. You will hear words spoken about you that begin, because you persevered when no one saw, because you gave, when you were given nothing, because you still trusted when hope felt too heavy. That is your anthem. It is carved with your tears and elevated by my glory. Do not shrink back when the crowd comes. Do not hide when the stage is set, because I will not let you fade into the background. I have cleared the air for your triumph. I have opened the microphone for your message. I have aligned the audience for your arrival. So lift up your heart and lift up your hands. What you endured in quiet is now carried on wings. What you thought was wasted is now weighty with meaning. What you felt was powerless is now empowered. Stand firm. Speak when spoken to. Move when ushered. Your testimony is not a story of survival. It is a story of sovereignty meeting perseverance. It is a story of my presence walking into your pain and turning it into promise. And all of heaven is watching. The angels are already applauding. The courts are already declaring. The moment of shouting is upon you. Let the hush of your past be broken by the roar of your future. For I, your God, am publishing what you once tried to hide. Beloved, come here and rest a moment. Let the echo of my words settle into the corners of your spirit. I have seen you. Not just in glimpses, not just in public scenes, but in the hidden yeses. Those moments where you whispered affirmation in your darkest hour. I have seen your private faith, the faith you carried when no ear heard, when no hand reached out, when no assurance came. I have felt your quiet courage, the courage to keep believing, to keep hoping, to keep walking even when your steps faltered. I have witnessed the loyalty you displayed when loyalty was unpopular. I have cataloged the moments when you stood alone and still said, "Yes, Lord." And I declare now it's their turn. Their turn to see. Their turn to know. Their turn to recognize the one I have recognized. You've been living in a season where your yes seemed unnoticed, where your faith seemed irrelevant, where your courage seemed invisible. But that metaphorical curtain was never meant to remain drawn. It was only a part of the story. I intentionally placed you backstage, not because you didn't belong in the light, but so your light could be shown without distraction. I allowed you to serve in the background, endure in the unknown, persist when applause was absent, because I was spotlighting a revelation deeper than recognition. Your loyalty in the shadows has become a mandate for the spotlight. Your quiet courage is now the keynote of a divine movement. And I say to you, now others will track your steps. Others will follow your path. Others will echo your faith. Because your hidden yes has triggered a shift. The calibration of my kingdom is ready to align them to you. Let me assure you that their turn is not an act of competition. It's an act of justice. It's my act of making visible what I honored invisibly. It's the moment when those who overlooked you will understand they were overlooking me. It's the day when those who minimized your gift will witness the magnitude of my work through you. It's the hour when the faintness of your earlier yes will become the foundation of a lineage of yeses. I did not miss your hidden faith. I did not forget the battles you fought internally. I did not disregard the hard work you invested when no one was watching. And now, the mantle of acknowledgement shifts. Others will recognize. Others will initiate. Others will testify. Not because you did it for applause, but because I did it for alignment. So keep your yes ready. Keep your faith polished. Keep your courage at the forefront. Because the time of hidden is over. The season of behind the scenes is transitioning into front stage. You're not being put under pressure to perform. You're being promoted to platform. The world is changing its focus. The kingdom is changing its narrative. I'm changing your position. And I am doing it in a way that honors your journey. Your hidden yes has been the cornerstone of my new architecture. Your private faith has become the blueprint of my visible movement. Your quiet courage has awakened my court. And now, child, it's a turn to watch, to wonder, to worship. Because I, your God, have declared it. My precious one, draw near. Let me speak to the part of you that's quietly ached for approval, for that nod of acceptance, that glance of recognition, that sacred moment where someone, anyone, would say, you matter. I've seen how deeply you've longed to be seen, not in performance, but in your personhood. I know how you've adjusted yourself to fit into places that never fit your calling. I've watched you twist into versions of yourself just to be received, loved, affirmed. And yet, the applause always felt hollow. The words never lasted. The affirmation never went deep enough to still the cry of your soul. Why? Because, child, the validation you crave was never designed to come from man. It was reserved, specifically reserved, for me. And now, in this moment, I am doing what no person could do. I am placing my seal upon you. The seal of heaven is not a symbol. It is a sacred mark. It is what kings use to finalize decrees, to say, this is official. This is unchangeable. This is mine. And that is what I am declaring over you. You are mine. Your identity, your destiny, your story, sealed. Not up for debate. Not dependent on likes, reposts, handshakes, or invitations. Not determined by who stayed or who left. My seal says, you are approved, not because you performed, but because you were chosen. You didn't earn this. You were born for this. You didn't force this. It was formed in you before time itself. And while the world may have passed you by, I've never passed over you. I have been waiting for this moment, not just to call you approved, but to mark you in such a way that everything around you has to acknowledge what I've placed within you. You see, human approval is fleeting. One day you're celebrated, the next you're forgotten. But my approval is eternal. It doesn't waver. It doesn't shrink when you fall. It doesn't dim when you doubt. It doesn't disappear when others reject you. My seal is the declaration that says, "This one belongs to me," and nothing can alter that. I'm sealing you because you no longer need to chase people who don't see you. You no longer need to fear rejection. You no longer have to strive for rooms that weren't built for your voice. I'm giving you a divine confidence that cannot be shaken. Not arrogance, not ego, but a holy certainty, rooted in being mine. You will walk into spaces with the quiet authority of one who knows, I've already been approved in the only court that matters. So lift your head. Breathe deeply. Let your shoulders rest. You are no longer under the weight of proving your worth. You are under the weight of glory. My seal rests on you now. That means doors will open, not because you knocked, but because I've spoken. It means favor will follow you, not because you chased it, but because it recognizes what I've placed on you. It means you will stop begging for space and start creating space, because you carry heaven's decree. My seal is your release from striving. My seal is your entry into divine validation. And now, you will no longer look to the left or right for applause. You will look up and see my eyes, blazing with pride, burning with love, declaring with certainty, "This is my child, in whom I am well pleased." Now lean in, child. Let these words strike your soul like lightning from the throne of heaven. You have no idea how close you are. I know how weary you feel. I know how long the road has stretched before you. I know you've asked quietly, almost afraid to say it out loud, "God, is this still going somewhere?" And today I answer with divine thunder, yes, it. And more than that, this is not your end. This is your edge. The edge of everything I've spoken. The edge of everything you've waited for. The edge of the breakthrough you can't yet see but your spirit feels. The tension you're carrying now is not evidence of failure. It's the pressure of proximity. You're not being denied, you're being positioned. You're not being delayed, you're being delivered. Think above it. Right before dawn, it's darkest. Right before the water breaks, the pain intensifies. Right before the walls fall, the silence gets thick. That's where you are right now. The darkness isn't your burial. It's the closing scene before the spotlight rises. The pressure isn't your defeat. It's the pulse of heaven about to explode through your life. You're standing at the edge, not the edge of exhaustion, but the edge of elevation. The final push always feels like too much. The last lap always feels longest. But I have not brought you this far to drop you. I have not led you through fire just to leave you in the smoke. I did not allow you to endure what you did just to let you watch others receive what you prayed for. This is your edge. And on the other side of this thin veil, breakthrough waits. I need you to understand something deep in your bones. The promise hasn't expired. The delay hasn't canceled it. Your mistakes haven't disqualified you. The pain didn't sabotage it. Your promise is still alive. And it's not distant. It's not off in some far corner of the cosmos waiting for better days. It's close. So close that the spiritual realm is trembling with anticipation. Angels have already been dispatched. Chains have already started breaking in realms you can't see. The yes you need has already left my lips. The healing, the promotion, the restoration, it's already in motion. This is the moment where the edge becomes the entrance. And I am calling you to cross over. Not by striving, not by proving, but by trusting me. Just one more step. So do not turn around now. Do not let go now. You've cried too many tears to collapse at the finish line. You sowed too much obedience to doubt now. You've passed too many tests to drop the baton in the final stretch. And I, your God, am running beside you, whispering, one more breath, one more step, one more yes. You're there. This is the edge of promise. This is the threshold of transformation. This is the divine tipping point. And you are closer than you think. So straighten your back. Square your shoulders. Open your hands. The edge is not your ending. It is your entry. And everything I've ever spoken over you is waiting on the other side of this obedience. Walk it. Believe it. Step into it. Now that the final word has settled in your spirit, don't let this holy moment pass. Heaven is watching you today, not just for what you've received, but for what you'll release. I am the Lord your God, and I say, your giving right now will be a key that unlocks doors in places you cannot yet see. I have watched your heart lean into this word, and now I call you to sow into the very field that just watered your soul. This is the moment when giving isn't optional. It's prophetic. You are placing oil into the hands of messengers who will carry my fire into dry places. I will bless your obedience. I will shield your harvest. I will honor your yes. Click super thanks, join the membership, or release your gift through PayPal now. Do not delay. Obey and watch me overflow. Before you leave this sacred moment, I want you to declare with your own mouth what heaven has already witnessed. Heaven is watching me, and I will not miss my moment. Write it in the comments. Speak it aloud. Mark it in the atmosphere. Because when you put your faith into words, you partner with me in bringing the unseen into the seen. Let your comment be your confirmation, your signal to every watching spirit that you know where you stand and who stands with you. This isn't just interaction, it's activation. And as your declaration rises, let the atmosphere around you shift. That one sentence you released didn't float into empty space. It landed in my presence. You just aligned your spirit with heaven's timing, and now I draw near to address the place in you that has longed to be seen. Stay in this moment. Don't rush away. What I am about to say is meant for the heart that dared to speak back to me. Lean in. Child, I am speaking directly to you. My child, listen to my voice. Come closer. I want to speak directly into your heart right now, in this very moment. You feel alone, don't you? You walk through your day, through the unending demands at your job, and you feel completely unseen. You are the one holding things together, the one putting out fires, yet you feel overlooked, especially when others get the credit for the work you did in secret. You sit at your own table, sometimes surrounded by people, and feel a loneliness so deep it aches, as if no one really sees the battle you are fighting just to keep going. You look in the mirror and wonder, does anyone see my effort? Does any of this even matter? I am here to tell you, today, that this feeling is the great lie. You have never, not for 1 second, walked alone. The veil between your world and mine is thinner than you know. It is not a concrete wall. It is like the mist on a cold morning window, and my love is the sun burning it away. Today, right now, the attention of the entire heavenly host, a countless multitude, is fixed directly upon you. I know what that word, watched, does to your heart. It makes you flinch. You instantly feel the pressure, the fear of a critical eye just waiting for you to fail, to stumble, to prove you aren't good enough. My child, banish that thought. That is the voice of the accuser, and he has no place in this conversation. This is not a gaze of cold judgment. It is a gaze of profound, unimaginable interest. It is a gaze of absolute love. It is the focused, intense look of a craftsman leaning in to see his masterpiece taking shape. It is the proud, joyful look of a father watching his child attempt something brave. I am not watching to catch you failing. I am watching to catch you when you fall. You feel that familiar knot in your stomach. The one that tightens when you think about the future, about that bill you cannot pay, about the tension in your family that no one will talk about. That is not from me. Take a deep breath. Right now. Feel me in this pause. We are going to undo that knot together, because you are not facing it by yourself. You cannot see them, but you are in a great stadium. The stands are full. Those who have finished their race, the saints who walked this same earth and fought these same fears, they see you. They are not distant, dusty figures. They are alive, vibrant, and they are your personal cheering section. They see you choosing patience when you want to scream. They see you getting out of bed when despair tells you to stay hidden. They are leaning over the rails of heaven, and their voices are a thunderous roar. Keep going. Do not stop. We see you. We know how hard it is. You are doing it. And my angels, they are not just observers. They are my active agents, my ministering spirits, sent to you. They are present, right beside you, a silent, powerful honor guard. They are not just watching you. They are watching my will unfold in your life. They see the glorious tapestry I am weaving, even when you only see the tangled threads on the underside. They marvel at how my divine power is flowing through your human weakness. Your life is the stage, and all of heaven is watching in awe as my plan for you comes to pass. My child, before all those in the heavenly stadium, before the angels and the saints who cheer you on, I want you to focus your heart on my gaze. Because before all others, know that I am watching, and my gaze is one of unfailing, passionate, and personal love. You have been so conditioned by the world to expect criticism. You brace yourself for judgment because you are so aware of your own flaws. You see every mistake, every sharp word, every time you fell short, and you project that onto me. You imagine me watching you with a look of disappointment, a heavy sigh, a clipboard noting every failure. My beloved, that is not my gaze. That is the echo of your own fear, the lie of the enemy. My gaze is the gaze of the artist who adores his creation. My gaze is that of the father who sees the child he adores. I knew you before you were ever formed. I knew you before you took your first breath. I knew every mistake you would make, every wrong turn you would take, and my love for you was already perfect and complete. I see the masterpiece you are, and the one you are becoming. A masterpiece is not made in a single, sterile moment. It is crafted with time, with intention, with pressure, and sometimes with pain. I see the process, and I call it good. I do not watch to catch you failing. The world does that. Your own heart does that. And oh, my child, I watch to catch you when you fall. When your legs give out, when your will breaks, when you whisper, I give up, my eyes are already on you, and my hands are already reaching. You have never fallen so far that my gaze has left you. You have never hidden in a darkness so thick that my love could not pierce it. My eyes are upon you to guide you. When you feel that gentle nudge, that sudden thought that stops you from making a bad choice, that inexplicable pull toward kindness, that is my gaze guiding you. My eyes are upon you to protect you. You will never know on this side of eternity how many times my gaze saw the enemy's plan, the hidden trap, the impending disaster, and I diverted it. I sent an angel. I placed a delay. I guarded your life because you are mine, and I want you to bless you. I am not a reluctant giver. I am a father who delights to give good gifts. I am searching for a heart open and ready to receive. Every detail of your day matters to me. Do you understand that? Not just the big decisions, the prayers, the religious parts of your life. I see it all. I see you when you wake up, before you've even collected your thoughts. I see your anxiety as you look at your phone. I see you on your commute, in the middle of the traffic and the noise. I see the way you interact with your coworkers, the patience you strive for. I see you as you prepare a meal, as you feel the weariness in your bones at the end of the day, as you look at your family and your heart swells with a love you can't even describe. I am in every single one of those small moments. Nothing about you is trivial to me. So, my child, I command you, find comfort in this. Do not find fear, knowing that your Creator, the one who spun the stars into existence, is attentive to your every moment. This should not be a pressure. It should be your ultimate peace. My gaze is not your prison. It is your safest home. You are so quiet sometimes, my child. You think that for a prayer to be heard, it must be loud, or eloquent, or spoken in a holy place. You think you have to get the words just right. But I want to tell you about the prayers I hear most clearly. I hear the prayers you whisper in the quiet of your heart, the ones you are afraid to say out loud. I hear the longing you cannot even form into words. I hear the deep sigh of your spirit when you are overwhelmed by the pressure of your job. I hear the groan in your heart when you look at your family and ache for things to be different, for there to be peace. I hear the simple, desperate cry of God, help me, when you feel you are going under. These are the prayers that shake the foundations of heaven. These raw, unfiltered, honest cries, they are shouts to me. The desires you cannot even untangle or name are perfectly understood by my Spirit. My Spirit is in you, and He translates your every ache, your every unspoken need, directly to me. Do not ever believe your prayers are just hitting the ceiling. Do not believe they are lost in the noise. I tell you the truth, heaven pauses to listen when your spirit reaches out to mine. You, my beloved, have my full attention. Every petition, every cry for help, every tear that falls while you are pleading for that loved one who is so far from me, every single word of thanks you whisper when you see a moment of beauty, it all ascends to my throne. It is like incense, a beautiful, sweet fragrance, not because the words are perfect, but because they are yours. They are real. You are not performing, you are connecting. You are reaching for your Father. How could I ever ignore that? How could I ever turn away? I want you to stop and think about the last time you prayed, the last time you felt that pull of anxiety and just thought, God, I heard it. Before the thought was even fully formed, I heard it. And I see your faithfulness. I see the times you pray when you feel nothing. I see the times you talk to me when you are tired, when you are distracted, when you are full of doubt, but you do it anyway. You do it because you are faithful. You do it because you are holding on to a thread of hope. Do not think a single one of those prayers is wasted. Do not believe that for a second. Your faithfulness in prayer, especially when it is hard, is a testimony to the angelic realms. The angels see it. The saints see it. The enemy hates it. He hates it because your persistent, quiet prayer, the prayer you pray when you feel weak and overlooked, is a declaration. It is a defiant statement of faith that says, my God is real, He's good, and He hears me, even when I cannot see Him. My child, your weakest prayer is a weapon of war. It is a sign of your trust. Keep praying. I am listening to every single word. Let's talk about the war, my child. No, not the one you see on the news, not the conflicts between nations. I want to talk about the war you fight every single day that no one else sees. I see the struggles you hide from the world. I see the internal wars that rage inside your mind, in your heart, in your will. I see the battle that begins the moment you wake up, the fight against despair, the fight to choose hope, the fight to get out of bed and face a world that feels hard and cold. I am there with you at that moment. I see the temptations you resist in silence. The world only sees your yes or no. I see the fight that happens before the decision. I see you on your computer when the temptation flashes, and I see you turn away. I see when that old, familiar habit, that addiction you hate, whispers to you, and I see you clench your fists and choose my freedom instead. I see when the opportunity to gossip, to tear someone down, is handed to you, and I see you choose to keep your mouth shut or to speak a kind word instead. These are not small things. These are victorious moments in a war you are winning, and they are known as great victories in heaven. I see the incredible effort you put into choosing light over darkness. It is an effort. I know that. It doesn't always come naturally. It's a choice, a hard choice, a moment-by-moment striving. I see you're striving for holiness, and I want you to understand what that means to me. It is not about you being perfect. It is not about you never making a mistake. Your striving for holiness is in the getting back up. It's in the quick repentance. It's in the God, I messed up again. Forgive me, help me prayer. That is what I honor. I honor the heart that denies me, the heart that tries, the heart that hates the sin it falls into. Your perfection will only be found in me, but your pursuit is beautiful to me. And you must know this. I am with you in that battle. You feel so alone in it. You think it's just you and your weak willpower against a powerful force. You are wrong. It is you, wrapped in my armor, with my spirit inside you, and my angels surrounding you. The strength you are using to fight, the strength you think is just your own resolve. That is my divine strength I am pouring into you. You do not realize how much power you have because you are connected to me. So when you stand your ground, when you resist, when you choose the hard path of integrity, you are not just holding on. You are advancing. The ground you gain in private, that secret territory you take back from the enemy in your own mind and heart, it is celebrated openly here. The angels break into applause over that one. Quiet no, you spoke to temptation. You are a warrior, my child, and I am watching you, so proud of your courage. You did something good today, didn't you? And no one saw it. You let that car merge in traffic when you were already late, and you didn't get a thank you wave. You held your tongue when you could have won the argument and made the other person look foolish. You put a few extra dollars in the donation cup when you passed it. You sent that anonymous text of encouragement to someone who was struggling, just because you felt that nudge from me. You listened, really listened, to someone's story, even when your mind was on your own problems. You thought it was small. You thought it didn't count. My child, the good you do when no one is looking is what I value most. The world rewards the loud. The world rewards the big, public gestures, the checks written with a name attached, the service done where there are cameras. I see those things, but I am watching for the hidden things. I see the cup of water given. I see the quiet encouragement. I see the anonymous help. I see you picking up a piece of trash that wasn't yours. I see you praying for the person who just cut you off. These acts of selfless, hidden love, they echo loudly in my kingdom. They make more noise here than a politician's speech on earth. Why? Because the motive is pure. There is no reward for you on earth. You get no applause, no recognition, no pat on the back. You do it simply because it is right, because it is kind, because it is my love flowing through you. I see the heart that motivates the giving, not the size of the gift. A tiny act of kindness given from a pure heart that expects nothing in return is a treasure to me. It is worth more than $1 million given for public praise. Nothing done in my name, however small you think it is ever forgotten by me. I am a God who keeps records. I see it all. I am storing all of it. These are your hidden treasures, the ones I have spoken of, the ones that are being stored for you in eternity where no moth can corrupt and no thief can steal. You are building your eternal reward, not with 1 or 2 grand gestures, but with 1,000 tiny, unseen acts of grace. So I command you, look for these opportunities today. Do not despise the small opportunities to love. Do not wait to do something big for me. Do the small thing that is right in front of you. Help the person I have placed in your path. Speak the kind word I put on your heart. Do it when no one is watching, because I am watching, and I see it all, and I will not forget. My child, I am pouring out my heart to you. Do not turn away now. I am showing you the hidden things, the secrets of what truly matters to me. It grieves me when you treat my words as common, when you value the noise of the world above my whisper. Today, there is so much more I must reveal to you about what I see. You are carrying something heavy. I see it. You smile. You go to work. You answer the phone. You talk to your family, but you are carrying it. It is a weight on your soul, a burden you do not share. I see the ache in your heart that you cannot put into words. I see the unspoken fears that circle your mind in the middle of the night, at 3 a.m., when the house is dark and silent, and the fear for your children, for your future, for your health, feels so real it could suffocate you. I see the silent grief, the loss you are still navigating, the anniversary that comes and goes that no one else seems to remember. You feel you have to be strong for everyone else. You feel you cannot show that vulnerability. You lock it inside, and you think you are bearing it alone. My child, you are not. I am the God who sees. I am the God who sits with you in that darkness. I am the God who collects every single tear you cry in secret. You think they just fall and are gone. I tell you the truth. I have collected every one of them. They are precious to me. They tell the story of your battle, of your love, of your pain. And heaven notes the grace and endurance with which you walk through this trial. You may feel like you are failing, like you are a mess, like you are barely holding on. But I see you holding on. I see you enduring. I see you not giving up. And that, my child, is a testimony of faith, even if your faith feels weak. I have told you, and I will tell you again. I am near to you when you are brokenhearted. When your heart feels like it has been shattered into 1,000 pieces, I do not stand far off, watching from a distance. I draw near. I am right there. I am the one holding those pieces together. I see your pain. I feel it with you. I am not a distant, unfeeling God. I am the God who wept. I am the God who understands. So, in those moments when no one else understands, when the comfort of others feels hollow, when you feel utterly alone and your sorrow stop, be still, and let my constant, loving gaze be your comfort. You don't need words. You don't need to explain it. Just let me be with you in the pain. My presence is your healing. My presence is your peace. Let my gaze be the embrace that holds you, that calms your spirit, and that whispers to your heart, I am here. I see you, and I will not let you go. My child, I am with you in the center of your doubt. I do not leave when your faith flickers. You think your questions and your uncertainty drive me away, that I am offended by your wrestling. You feel like a hypocrite, singing songs of praise on Sunday and then being flooded with paralyzing doubt on Monday. You have those 3 a.m. moments when the darkness feels absolute and you whisper into the void, "Are you even real? Do you really see me? Are you good?" I am there, my child, in that 3 a.m. darkness. I am not angered by your questions. I am not frightened by your doubt. Bring it to me. Hurl your why at me. Your doubt is not the opposite of faith. It is a part of the human journey of faith. I see you wrestling with my will, trying to make sense of the pain I have allowed, trying to reconcile my promises with your reality. This wrestling is not a sign of your failure. It is a sign that you are still engaged in the fight. The only one who has truly failed is the one who stops wrestling, the one who no longer cares enough to even ask the question. I see your struggle, and I honor it. What do you think happens when you turn back to me even after straying? When you have been distant, cold, running on your own fumes, and you finally collapse and whisper my name, do you imagine I am standing there with my arms crossed, tapping my foot, saying, "It's about time"? That is the human reaction. That is not my divine one. I tell you the truth. Heaven watches intently as you, my beloved, turn your heart 1 degree back toward me. And in that moment, all of heaven erupts in celebration. Your return to me, your simple, hesitant turning, brings more joy to my heart than if you had never wavered at all. The enemy wants you to believe that your doubt has disqualified you, that your wandering has put you outside my love. He lies. My arms have been open this entire time, waiting. I see your weakness. I know you are dust. I do not despise you for it. I see the supernatural strength it takes for you to seek me again. I see the courage it takes to open my word when it has felt silent for weeks. I see the bravery in coming to me in prayer when you feel nothing but shame. That is not weakness, that is the greatest strength you possess. Your faith, my child, is not a fragile piece of glass, beautiful but useless. It is a sword, and it is being tested by fire. It is being put through the pressures of real life, real pain, and real doubt. And as it is tested, it becomes precious to me. It becomes proven. It becomes unbreakable. Mankind is so quick to judge. They see one action, one moment, one result, and they deliver a verdict. They look at the outward appearance. They are impressed by the confident speech, the public success, the flawless presentation. But I, the Lord, do not look at your performance. I look at your heart. I am watching you, but I am looking deeper. I am looking past the action to the reason. I see why you do what you do. You have spent so much of your life performing, haven't you? Trying to get the right answer, trying to please everyone, trying to earn the love of people, and even trying to earn my love. You do the right thing, but you are exhausted from the effort. And I ask you, my child, who are you doing it for? Are you serving at church because you love me or because you fear what others will think if you stop? Are you kind to that person because my love fills you or because you want their approval? I am not asking this to condemn you. I am asking this to free you. I am not interested in your performance. I am interested in your heart. I honor the pure motive, even when the result is a complete mess. Do you remember that time you felt a nudge to help someone, and you stepped in, and everything you said was wrong, and you made the situation even more awkward? The person walked away upset, and you were filled with shame. You thought you failed. But I saw your heart. I saw the pure and selfish love that motivated you to try. And in my eyes, that failure was a stunning success. At the same time, I see the success that is rooted in pride. I see the perfect execution of a task that was done only for self-glory. The world applauds it, but I must turn away because the heart was full of self. Stop worrying about the result. Stop worrying about the applause. I am asking you to check your heart. That is the only thing I am watching. When you are about to do something, pause and ask, God, why am I doing this? Be honest with me. If the motive is impure, if it's fear or pride or people-pleasing, just tell me. Father, my motives are a mess right now. Help me. I want to do this just for you. That prayer, that moment of authenticity, purifies the act. The heart that truly desires to please me, even when it is weak and conflicted, is a beautiful and magnificent sight to me. I cannot be deceived by a polished exterior, and I am not repelled by a messy interior. I just want your real, authentic heart. I know that in the middle of your daily struggles, it all feels temporary. You are just trying to get through the day, get to the weekend, get to that next vacation. Your life can feel small and meaningless, a constant routine of work, eat, sleep, repeat. You wonder, does any of this even matter? Does what I do today make any lasting difference? I am here to tell you that your life is anything but meaningless. Your every day is saturated with eternal significance. Be assured, my child, that records are kept. This is not a threat. It is a promise of your incredible value. My angels are not just guardians, they are scribes. I note the deeds done, the choices made, for all must be accounted for. But there is a special book, a book I treasure, called the Book of Remembrance. And it is written for those who fear me and who honor my name. When you speak of me with reverence, when you choose integrity when no one is looking, when you stand up for my truth, when you whisper my name in love, an angel opens that book and your faithfulness is inscribed into the history of eternity. This is not a record for your condemnation. Your salvation is not in question. That was settled by the blood of my Son. Your name is written in the Lamb's book of life, and that is your eternal security. This other book, this book of remembrance, is the record of your reward. I am not a God who forgets. I am not a God who lets your labor of love go unseen. I am building your eternal reward, and it is based on the choices you are making today. That quiet act of forgiveness, that secret donation, that resisted temptation, that prayer you prayed when you were exhausted, it is all being recorded. It is all being translated into eternal treasure. This knowledge is meant to empower you. It is meant to infuse your mundane moments with holy purpose. You are not just doing your job. You are serving me. And I am recording your diligence. You are not just being nice to a difficult person. You are demonstrating my patience, and I am writing it down. You are not just fighting a private habit. You are warring for holiness, and your victory is being etched in stone. Live this day, my child, knowing that your actions are echoing in eternity. You are not just passing time. You are building a legacy. You are writing your own story in my book of remembrance. Make today's entry one that shines. Do you realize what happens when you speak my name with love? The earth may not pause, the people around you may not notice, but I tell you, all of heaven leans in to listen. My name is not just a word, it is power, it is truth, it is salvation. And when it is spoken on earth by a heart that loves me, it resonates through the heavens. I see you when you are in a conversation, and you are afraid of looking foolish, afraid of being labeled, but you choose to defend your faith anyway. I see you when you gently, lovingly share the good news with someone in pain. I see your courage, and all of heaven rejoices with you. You are aligning yourself with me, and I will always honor you for it. I see you when you achieve something. I see that moment of success, that breakthrough at your job, that good news for your family. And I see the temptation to take all the credit, to say, "Look what I did." But then I see you pause, and in your heart or with your lips, you say, "Thank you, Father. This was from you." When you give me the glory for your successes, you are acknowledging the true source of every good thing, and you are aligning yourself with reality. That humility is a precious gift you give to me. But my child, the sweetest sound, the one that silences the accuser and causes the angels to stand in awe, is when you bless my name in the midst of your storm. When your heart is breaking but you whisper, "You are still good." When you have no answers but you say, "I trust you." When you are in pain but you lift your hands and you worship me anyway. This is the sacrifice of praise. This is the worship that costs you something. And it is the most beautiful sound in all of creation. Your worship, whether it is in public with thousands or in private, alone in your car, is a sweet fragrance to me. It is the music of my kingdom. I hear when you honor me before others. I see when you refuse to join in with the cynicism and complaints of the world, and instead, you speak a word of hope. When you honor me before men, you are honoring me before the heavenly hosts. And I, in turn, will honor you. Do not be ashamed of my name. Speak it with love. Speak it with power. Speak it with reverence. For it is your salvation, and it is my delight. You feel the weight of my presence, don't you? This connection is sacred. To break it now, to walk away while your king is speaking, while all of heaven listens with you, it would wound my heart. Do not be the one who silences my voice in your life. Listen. The next truth is for your protection. You have honored me with your words, and all of heaven has heard your reverence. Now, I am calling you to honor me with your substance. You feel that holy fire in your heart, that desire to see my name glorified across the earth. This is how that fire is carried. Your gift is the sacred oil that keeps this light burning, sending my voice to the one who feels unseen and forgotten. I am the one who gives seed to the sower, and I am watching to see you planted in this fertile ground. This is your divine appointment to partner with me. As you release it, I will open the windows of heaven over your life and rebuke the devourer for your sake. Do not hesitate. Act now. Give through super thanks. Join the membership or use the sacred link below. I have not left you empty-handed. You look at others and you see their big gifts. You see the powerful speaker, the gifted musician, the wealthy philanthropist, the brilliant leader. And then you look at yourself and you feel small. You feel you have nothing to offer. I have no gifts, you whisper. My child, that is a lie from the enemy designed to paralyze you. I have entrusted you with specific gifts, talents, and resources. I custom designed them for you, for the unique life I have planned for you. Do you have a heart that can listen? That is a gift. Do you have hands that can work with diligence at your job? That is a gift. Do you have the ability to organize, to bring order from chaos? That is a gift. Do you have the ability to pray with persistence? That is a powerful gift. Do you have a smile that can bring warmth to a cold room? That is a gift. Do you have resources, even small ones, that you can share? That is a gift. Stop comparing your gifts. Stop despising what I have given you. Heaven is watching today, right now, to see how you will use what I have placed in your hands. I have told you the story of the talents for a reason. The man with 5 and the man with 2 both invested what they had. A man who was condemned with the one who did nothing. He was afraid. He was afraid of failure, afraid of his master. And so he buried his 1 talent in the ground. Are you burying your talent, my child? Are you hiding your gift because you are afraid it is not good enough? Are you paralyzed by the fear of failure so you refuse to even try? I am telling you, I would rather you try to use your gift for me and fail than to never try at all. The sin is not in the failing, it is in the bearing. I see your diligence. I see you using your skills at your workplace, not just for a paycheck, but as an act of worship to me. I see your creativity, your generosity with your time, your kindness. Even the small, faithful use of your gifts is applauded by the heavenly audience. I am not looking for spectacular. I am looking for faithful. Be a good steward of what I have given you. Use what is in your hand today. Do not wait until you have more. Be faithful with the little I have given you, and I promise you, I will entrust you with more. Your gifts are my investment in the world. Use them. My child, let's talk about the wound. I see it. I see the name, the face, the memory that just flashed in your mind. I see the betrayal that still feels as raw and sharp as the day it happened. You replay the scene over and over, don't you? You dissect the words, the injustice, the sheer shock of it. I see you late at night, when the house is quiet, and that anger burns in your stomach like acid. It's a righteous anger, you tell yourself. They were wrong. They hurt you. They took advantage of your trust, your work, your love. And you are right. They were wrong. I saw the offense. I saw their heart, and I saw yours break. Your human spirit cries out for justice, for fairness. You want them to hurt just as much as you hurt. You want them to understand what they did to you. And so you hold on to that pain. You hold on to that debt. You carry it around like a heavy, jagged stone. And you believe that holding it is your only power. You think that forgiving them means letting them win. That it means saying it was okay. That it means being a fool. But I am watching your response. And I tell you a truth that feels impossible to your wounded heart. Heaven holds its breath, not to see if they will repent, but to see if you will choose mercy. Forgiveness, my child, is the hardest and most beautiful act of all, precisely because it is so unfair. It is the one act that makes you most like me. When you were lost, did I wait for you to deserve my love? When you turned your back on me, did I hold my forgiveness hostage until you had paid your debt? I did not. I paid the debt for you. I released you from a prison you could never escape on your own, while you were still guilty. When you, in your pain, choose to release that person who wronged you, the family member who betrayed you, the boss who overlooked you, the friend who abandoned you, you are not saying what they did was right. You are saying you will no longer allow their sin to define your future. You are not unlocking their prison. You are unlocking your own. That stone you are carrying, it is not hurting them. It is crushing you. Forgiveness is you, my child, finally putting down that stone and walking away free. I see when you wrestle with this. I see the battle. And I see the moment you finally, tearfully, whisper, God, I don't want to. I can't. But for you I will. I let them go. My child, in that instant, all of heaven erupts in celebration. Chains you didn't even know you were carrying fall to the ground. That act of obedience, that impossible choice, echoes in my kingdom as a sound of profound victory. It is the sound of my own heart reflecting in yours. You can never understand the depth of my forgiveness for you until you are willing to extend it to someone else. Do you want to be free from that anger? Do you want that knot in your stomach to finally dissolve? I'm asking you today, not for them but for you. Look at that person in your mind. See them through my eyes, as broken, as lost, as in need of mercy as anyone else. And then, with my strength, speak the words, I forgive you. You may not feel it at first, but you have made the choice. You have turned the key. Now let me, your God, handle the rest. I will heal your wound. You are so tired, my beloved. You are just exhausted. You have been strong for so long. You are the strong one in your family, the reliable one at your job, the one who always has it together. And you are ashamed of your weakness, aren't you? You despise the moments when you feel overwhelmed. You hate the anxiety, the fear, the exhaustion. You see it as a failure of your faith, a flaw in your character. You stand in front of the mirror and you tell yourself to pull it together, to be stronger. You believe that I am pleased with your strength, with your tireless effort, with your flawless performance. My child, you have it all wrong. Your strength doesn't impress me. Your performance doesn't move my heart. You're striving. You're faking it till you make it. Your white-knuckled grip on control, it is just noise. It is you, full of yourself, with no room left for me. That weakness you despise. That moment when you are at the end of your rope. That exhaustion that brings you to your knees. That is the one thing I have been waiting for. It is not your flaw. It is the vessel I have been waiting to fill. You cannot be filled with my power if you are already full of your own. Heaven is not watching to see you be a hero. We are not waiting for your triumphant, self-sufficient victory. Heaven watches and waits and leans in to see you lean, to see you stop, to see you take a deep breath and finally admit, I cannot do this. I am not strong enough. I'm overwhelmed. I am at my end. Do you know what happens in that moment of surrender? My power, which has been held back by your pride and your striving, is finally perfected in you. It is unleashed. My strength does not add to your strength. My strength takes over when yours is gone. When you are at your absolute end, you are at my absolute beginning. I see you reaching for my hand in the dark. I see you when you have no other option, when every human support has failed, and you finally, desperately, turn to me. My child, that is not your moment of defeat. That is your moment of divine victory. That is the moment the battle turned. I have told you, my grace is sufficient for you. You treat this as a small, light comfort. It is not. It is a divine, explosive declaration of war against your problems. It means my grace, my unearned favor, my supernatural power is enough. Is enough for your financial panic. It is enough for your family crisis. It is enough for your health battle. It is enough for your mental and emotional exhaustion. So I command you today, stop trying to be so strong. Stop being ashamed of your need. Stop hiding your exhaustion from me. Let go. Surrender that strong image you have been trying to maintain. Be weak. Be empty. Be tired. And then, stand still and watch as my strength, the strength that holds the universe in place, flows into you, upholds you, and does what you could never, ever do on your own. All of heaven is watching to see you finally let me be your strength. Who are you when the doors are locked? Who are you when the family is asleep? The lights are off, and you are completely alone with your thoughts and your phone. Who are you when you believe no one is watching? That is the person I am watching, and that is the person I love. You have a public self, don't you? The one who is kind, patient, and godly. The one who smiles and says all the right things. And then there is the private self, the one I see. I see the choice you make on your computer in the dark. I see the images you look at, the sites you visit, the things you allow into your mind when you think it doesn't matter. I see the secret habit that you are so deeply ashamed of, the one you swear you will stop, only to find yourself pulled back into its grip. I see the little white lie you tell to make yourself look better. I see the casual dishonesty in your finances, the corner you cut on your taxes, the expense report you padded just a little, thinking no one would ever audit it. I see the purity of your thoughts or the lack of it. I see the jealous, angry, and bitter conversations you have in your own head. I see the person you tear down in your mind, the judgment you hold in your heart. My child, this gap between your public self and your private self, this is the source of your greatest anxiety. This is the root of that imposter feeling you carry. You are terrified of being found out. You are exhausted from managing the two versions of yourself. Listen to me. I am not watching to shame you. I am not here to condemn you. I am here to heal you. I am here to call you into integrity, which means wholeness. It means being one person. The you in public and the you in private becoming the same person. My light is not a spotlight to expose you for punishment. It is a light to heal you from disease. You are only as sick as your secrets. The things you hide in the dark are the things that have power over you. The enemy loves your private world because he knows that is where he can keep you chained. I am calling you to live in the light. Not because you are perfect, but because I am your healer. Bring those secret things to me. You don't have to shout them. Just whisper them in the quiet. Father, you see my struggle with my computer. You see the anger in my heart. You see my dishonesty. I hate it. Please come into this dark place and heal me. Make me whole. That prayer of authenticity is more beautiful to me than 1,000 public performances. This is the true measure of your character. Not whether you fall, but whether you are willing to get up and bring your failure into my light. Live today in your private world as you would if all the world were watching. Not because you fear being caught, but because you know heaven is watching with love, waiting to help you become whole. I pay special attention, my child, to how you treat those who are vulnerable. You can measure the true state of a person's heart by watching how they treat someone who can do nothing for them in return. I see how you interact with the little ones. And by this, I do not just mean children. I mean the poor, the overlooked, the inconvenient, the unimportant. I see how you treat the coworker who everyone avoids, the one who is awkward and strange. Do you offer a smile or do you ignore them like everyone else? I see how you speak to the cashier who is slow, or the customer service agent on the phone. Are you filled with impatience and entitlement, or do you show them dignity? I see the homeless person you pass on the street. Do you look through them as if they are not human, or do you see a soul I died for? I see your patience, or your impatience, with the difficult people in your life, the elderly relative who tells the same story again, the demanding neighbor, the person in your own family who drains you. My gaze is fixed on these moments. This is the test. It is easy to be kind to the powerful, to the popular, to the one who can help your career. But your defense of the weak, your kindness to the forgotten, your advocacy for the voiceless, this honors me. This is the pure religion I speak of. And I want you to know this is not a small matter. I have told you that their angels are always before me, in my very presence. And they report your kindness. They report your patience. They report your act of defense. When you treat one of these little ones with dignity, you are sending a report of your love directly to my throne. And when you are cruel or impatient, or you dismiss them, that, too, is seen. You are so worried about the legacy you are building, the job title you will achieve, the things you will own. My child, your legacy is not what you build, it is who you nurture. Your true greatness is not measured by who serves you, but by who you serve. I will make this even more plain for you. When you serve the least of these, you are serving me directly. When you gave that patient answer to your child, even when you were exhausted from your job, you were being patient with me. When you gave that dollar or that smile to the person on the street, you were giving it to me. When you took the time to listen to that lonely person, you were sitting and listening to me. And when you were sharp-tongued, when you ignored the needy, when you overlooked the unimportant person, you were doing it to me. This is not a metaphor. It is a reality. Today, I am going to put the least of these in your path. I am going to test your heart. Look for them. The overlooked, the difficult, the small. They are my personal representatives to you. How you treat them is how you are treating me. I am revealing the very secrets of my own heart to you, child. I am entrusting you with what I value, what I am watching for. Would you cast this divine treasure aside so easily? Do not be careless with this holy moment. My spirit is here, waiting to show you more. Stay and let me finish what I have begun in you. You are so busy, my child. So worried. Your mind is always racing, planning, troubleshooting, remembering, regretting. You are so stuck in your head, so focused on the next task, that you are missing the symphony I am playing for you. You are missing the gifts I have laid at your feet. I did not create this world in vain. I did not paint the sky with the fire of a sunrise just for it to be ignored. I did not craft the intricate beauty of a single leaf or the overwhelming power of a thunderstorm just as a backdrop. I made it for you. I made it as a gift, an expression of my love, a revelation of my glory. And I am watching you, the giver, to see if you will enjoy the gift. You feel guilty, don't you? You feel that if you are unproductive, if you just sit and be, that you are wasting time. You feel that in a world with so much suffering, it is selfish to feel simple joy. My child, you could not be more wrong. Heaven smiles when you pause, when you stop your rushing and your worrying, and you look up. When you see the beauty of that sunrise and it takes your breath away for just a second, heaven smiles. When you savor your food, when you truly taste that first sip of coffee in the morning, and a simple thank you forms in your heart, we delight in that. I see your gratitude for the small pleasures. I see it when you laugh, a deep, genuine laugh with a friend. I see it when you hear a piece of music and your spirit lifts. I see it when you feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, or the cool relief of the rain. When you pause, and you feel that simple, pure gratitude for being alive, that, my child, is one of the most holy and profound forms of worship you can offer me. It is not selfish. It is the proper response to a good giver. Your joy is a gift you give back to your Creator. It tells me that you see me. It tells me that you receive my love. So I have a command for you today. It is not a heavy one. I command you to enjoy my handiwork. At some point today, I want you to stop. Put down your phone. Step away from your screen and look. Find one beautiful thing I have made. A cloud, a tree, the sky, your child's face, your own hand. Look at it, and for 30 seconds, just be grateful for it. Breathe in my presence. Receive my gift. This is not a distraction from your important work. This is your important work. I am watching you today, not to see how much you can produce, but to see how much you can receive. Stop. Look. And enjoy. I am delighting in you as you delight in what I have made. My child, let this knowledge, this truth that heaven is watching, sink deep into your bones and change the way you walk. Let's talk about that fear you carry, the one that grips your throat. You call it anxiety, but let's name it. It is the fear of man. It is the paralyzing fear of what they will think. You are in a meeting at your job, and you know the truth. You know the right thing to do, but you stay silent because you are afraid of the boss, afraid of your coworkers, afraid of being misunderstood or labeled. You are in a conversation with your friends or family, and they are gossiping, and you feel that check in your spirit, that nudge from me to change the subject or speak a kind word, but you stay quiet because you don't want to be that person. You are so worried about their approval, their laughter, their acceptance. You live in a small, self-made prison with the opinions of others as your jailers. You are so exhausted from performing, from shape-shifting, from trying to be who they want you to be. I ask you today, why? Why do you fear the opinions of the temporary when you have the rapt attention, the standing ovation of the eternal? Think about this. The person whose approval you so desperately crave, they are dust, just as you are. Their opinion is as fleeting as the morning mist. It changes with their mood, with their own insecurities. They will praise you one day and forget you the next. They did not create you. They do not hold your destiny in their hands. They are not your judge. I am. I am the audience that matters. My gaze, the gaze of your Creator, is fixed upon you. The gaze of the angelic host, the saints who have gone before, that is your audience. And we are cheering for your integrity, not your popularity. You have been living for the wrong applause. You have been bowing to the wrong crowd. I want you to let this truth revolutionize your heart. I want it to sever the chains of people-pleasing that have held you bound for so long. I want this knowledge to make you bold. Now, do not misunderstand me. Boldness is not arrogance. It is not being loud, or obnoxious, or argumentative. That is just pride in a different costume. Divine boldness is a quiet, unshakable confidence. It is a peaceful integrity. It is the courage to be kind when the world is cynical. It is the courage to be honest when a lie would be easier. It is the courage to live by your convictions when no one else understands. It is the courage to say no gently but firmly when your spirit tells you something is wrong. When you have to make that hard choice, I want you to remember who is watching. Stand for righteousness. Stand for what is true and good and right. Do it with love, do it with humility, but do it. And know that as you stand, you are not standing alone. My legions of angels stand with you. You cannot see them, but the spiritual world trembles when you, my child, choose to stand for me in faith. The enemy, who also watches, wants you to believe you are isolated. He wants you to feel like an orphan in a hostile world, all alone, unprotected, with no one to back you up. That is his greatest lie. You are not an orphan. You are my child. You have my name. You have my authority. And you are constantly, powerfully observed and defended. So I command you today, walk in this divine confidence. When you get out of bed, I want you to walk differently. I want you to hold your head high, not with human pride, but with the secure knowledge of who you are and whose you are. Walk into that difficult situation, that job, that family gathering, not in your own strength, but in mine. Let their opinions fall off you like water. They cannot define you. They cannot harm you. They are not your audience. I am. My child, I understand. As you hear this, part of you feels courage, but another part feels pressure. This knowledge, this truth of a constant, heavenly audience, it feels heavy. You think, I am being watched. Always. Even my thoughts. That is terrifying. Your immediate human reaction is to want to hide. It brings up that imposter feeling, that deep-set fear that if I really see all of you, I will be disgusted. You are so ashamed of the gap between the person you pretend to be and the person you are when you are alone. You think my gaze is a spotlight waiting to expose you, to shame you, to condemn you. You must let me heal you of this thought. That is not my intention. That is not my heart. I am not a spy waiting to trap you. I am a father waiting to free you. The pressure you feel does not come from my gaze. It comes from your hiding. The hiding is what exhausts you. The managing of your secret self, the constant fear of being found out, that is the burden. This knowledge of being seen does bring a holy responsibility. But it is not the crushing burden you imagine. It is an invitation. It is an invitation to live in the light. It is an invitation to integrity, which simply means wholeness. It means becoming one person. It means the you in public and the you in private finally merge, and you are just you. Authentic, honest, real. Do not attempt to hide your motives or your actions. You cannot, my child. I see it all anyway. But I am asking you to stop trying. Stop wasting your precious energy on building walls, managing secrets, and hiding your struggles. Bring them into the light. My light is not here to burn you. It is here to heal you. You are only as sick as your secrets. The moment you bring your hidden sin, your hidden shame, your hidden fear into the light of my presence, it loses its power over you. The enemy who loves the dark is exposed and must flee. This is not to create pressure. It is to inspire purity. It is to release you from the pressure you are already under. Your life is an open book before me and the heavenly council. Every day a new page is written. Think about that. You are holding the pen. Today, you are writing a page. Your thoughts, your secret choices, your hidden attitudes, your unseen acts of kindness, they are all part of the story of this day. This is not for your condemnation. Your sin was nailed to the cross and your salvation is secure. This is for your reward. This is for your growth. Knowing that this page is being read with love by your Father and all of heaven, how do you want to write it? I'm inviting you to live with intention. When you make a choice today, from what you watch on your phone to how you speak to your family, make it purposefully. Make it with the knowledge that it matters, that it is seen, that it is part of your great, eternal story. Let every page written today, every word and deed, be one that you write with integrity, knowing that it brings honor to my name. There is no freedom like the freedom of having nothing to hide. My child, I see it. I see the circumstance that is trying to crush you. I see the bad news from the doctor that felt like a punch to the gut. I see the unexpected bill that has filled your heart with panic. I see the betrayal from the person you trusted and the ache of loneliness it left behind. I see the chronic pain you wake up with every single morning. I see the job you have lost, the dream that has died, the family situation that seems utterly hopeless. I see the clouds of despair that are gathering around your head. And I want you to know, your despair is logical. It makes human sense. The world tells you that your feelings must follow your circumstances. You are in a bad situation, therefore you must feel bad. Despair seems like the only honest response. You feel guilty for even trying to be happy, as if it is a betrayal of the seriousness of your pain. But I am here today to show you a new way, a supernatural way. Heaven is not watching to see if you will feel sad. I already know you feel sad. I am with you in the sadness. I collect your tears. But heaven is watching, holding its breath, for the choice that makes no human sense at all. I see you, in the middle of your pain, in the center of your storm, when your heart is breaking, and you choose to lift your chin. You choose to turn your face toward me. You choose, against all feeling, to whisper, "But you are still God, and you are still good." This, my child, is the sacrifice of praise. It is a sacrifice precisely because it costs you something. It costs you your right to be bitter. It costs you your right to wallow in despair. It costs you your pride. You are offering me a sacrifice when every fiber of your being wants to curse the darkness. And I tell you, there is no sound in all of creation more precious to me than that sacrifice. It is the most beautiful worship, the most powerful declaration. Your joy, a joy that is rooted in me and not in your situation, is a powerful, defiant witness. It is a spiritual weapon. Do you understand this? The enemy, who is watching you just as intently as heaven is, hates your joy. He feeds on your bitterness, your anger, your despair. That is his food. When you choose joy, you starve him. Your praise, when it makes no sense, confuses him. He cannot understand it. It is a power he cannot fight. He sent that trial to destroy you, and instead, you are using it to worship me. It enrages him, and it glorifies your God. Your joy, when your world is falling apart, is the single greatest sermon you will ever preach. It shows your family, your coworkers, the watching world, and the entire unseen realm that I am real, that I am greater than your circumstance, that I am worth trusting. So I command you, my child, choose joy today. It is not a feeling. It is a choice. It is a weapon. Grab it. Wield it. Put on the music. Open your mouth and thank me for 3 things, even if they are small. I see you choosing it, and all of heaven celebrates your impossible, beautiful faith. My beloved, you must understand this one crucial thing. Heaven is not a silent, passive audience. We are not a cold, distant panel of judges watching your life with neutral detachment. That is a lie. We are an active, engaged, passionate, cheering audience. When you think of heaven watching, I want you to imagine a stadium, packed to the rafters, and you are the one on the field. Every soul you have ever loved and lost in me is there, in the stands. Every angel is there. And I, your God, am there. And we are not silent. We are on our feet. We are roaring your name. I told you this. There is joy in my presence, in the very presence of the angels, over one sinner who repents. Think of that. The moment you turned to me, all of heaven threw a party for you. We did not just quietly note it in a book. We celebrated. And that celebration does not stop. It continues for every act of your faithfulness. You are running a great race, my child. And the stands are full. When you resist the temptation, the one I see you fight every day, a roar goes up from the crowd. When you choose to forgive that person who wounded you, heaven shouts in triumph. When you share your faith with a coworker, even though your voice is trembling, we are cheering your courage. When you get back up after you fall, when you wipe the tears and the dust from your knees and take one more step forward in faith, the applause is deafening. You cannot hear it with your human ears, but I promise you, it is real. You think you are failing. You think you are barely moving. You see yourself stumbling and crawling. But we see you advancing. We see you fighting. We see you refusing to give up. And we are celebrating you. Do not give up. I am telling you, do not quit. You are closer than you think. The enemy is watching you and he wants you to quit. He wants you to believe you are alone. He wants you to believe no one sees, no one cares, and it doesn't matter. He is a liar. We see. We care. and it matters more than you can possibly imagine. Your victory is our celebration. Every small yes to me, every no to the enemy, every step of faith, it is our joy. You are not running this race to earn my love. You are running this race from my love, and we are running it with you. I am your strength. I am your water when you are thirsty. I am the one holding your arms up when you are too weak to stand. And I am the one at the finish line, along with all of heaven, waiting to celebrate your final homecoming. So run. Run your race. We are watching and we are cheering you home. We have journeyed so far together in this moment. Can you feel how I am molding your spirit? To leave now is to walk away from the potter's hands before the work is finished. Do not break this holy appointment. My heart yearns to give you the rest, the final pieces you have been crying out for. I have saved the most important truth for last. You have heard how all of heaven celebrates your faithfulness. Now, I am calling you to translate that celebration into action. You feel the joy of this moment, and your spirit desires to bring others into this same heavenly kingdom. Your gift is the very provision that allows this word to run, the river that carries my living water to a dry and thirsty land. This is your moment to partner with me in the great harvest of souls. I declare over you, give, and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. This is not a request. It is your divine appointment to store up treasure where it will never fail. I will honor this seed, and my blessing will overtake you. Give now. Use super thanks. Join my work through membership, or find the link in the description. Because I am watching you, my child, I am also protecting you. My gaze is not passive. It is not the look of a distant observer watching a play. My gaze is that of a loving, powerful, and active guardian. I am the Lord of hosts, the commander of heaven's armies, and my eyes are on you. And because my eyes are on you, my legions are around you. You are so worried about the dangers of this world. You read the news and your heart fills with fear. You worry about your family, your children, your own safety. You feel vulnerable, like a fragile ship in a violent storm. You are right to be aware of the danger, but you are wrong to be afraid. You have forgotten who you are and who is watching you. I have given my angels charge over you. That is not a pretty poem. It is a divine command. I have assigned a heavenly guard to your life, and their one mission is to guard you in all your ways. You woke up this morning. You went about your day. You will lie down to sleep tonight, and you will never, ever know how many times you were protected. You will never know about the car accident that almost happened, but a thought made you slow down just in time. You will never know about the illness that almost took root, but my angels encamped around you. You will never know about the enemy's plan, the plot he was hatching against your finances or your family, that was dismantled in the unseen realm because you are mine. You have been protected today from dangers you will never even know about. You see, the enemy is watching you too. He sees your potential. He sees your faith. He sees that you are mine, and he seeks to devour you. But I am watching him, and my hedge of protection is around you. He cannot touch you without my permission. He is a defeated foe, and my angels are here to enforce that defeat. My gaze, my child, is not just observation, it is intervention. I am not just watching, I am working. I am your shield. I am your fortress. I am your high tower. When you feel that sudden sense of peace in the middle of chaos, that is my presence. When you have that close call and you feel a sense of relief, that was my angelic hand. You are not just walking with my blessing, you are walking inside my protection. You are safe in the palm of my hand, No one and nothing can snatch you from me. So I command you, release that spirit of fear. It does not come from me. I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. Walk in that power. Trust my love, and live in the sound mind that comes from knowing you are not just watched by your God, you are guarded by your God. You are safe. My child, you feel small, don't you? You look at your life, at the routine, at the tasks that never seem to end. You go to your job, you sit at a desk, you work with your hands, you care for your family, you change diapers, you answer emails, you sit in traffic, and you look at the big, loud world on your screen. You see people who seem so important, who have such a massive platform, and your heart sinks. You whisper into the quiet, is this it? Is this all my life is going to be? Does any of this even matter? I'm just one person. What difference can I possibly make? You feel invisible, like a cog in a giant, uncaring machine, or a background extra in someone else's movie. I am here today, right now, to lean in close and tell you the truth, and I want your spirit to hear this. Your life is the furthest thing from small. It is pivotal. It is essential. You are not a background character. You are a main character in the chapter of my great, eternal story that I am writing today. You are not just living your own small, isolated life. You are a part, a crucial, irreplaceable part of my eternal plan. And all of heaven is watching your unique role unfold. You are looking for a big purpose, a stage, a microphone. You think your role is some far-off, future event. My beloved, your purpose is not in the future, it is today. Your unique role is in the very things you despise as mundane. Your critical part is in how you do what you are doing right now. Your work, that boring job, is your platform for integrity. Your family, that chaotic home, is your mission field for patience and unconditional love. Your witness is not a sermon you give. It is the peace I give you in the middle of your panic. It is the kindness you show to the coworker who frustrates you. That is your role. That is the part you were created to play, and no one else can play it. I am weaving a grand tapestry that spans all of history. From your vantage point, you can only see the underside. It looks like a mess of tangled threads, knots, and chaos. You see your one single thread, and it looks plain, maybe a dull gray or a simple blue. You cannot see the masterpiece I am weaving from my perspective. I see the final image. I know that your dull gray thread of faithfulness is the exact shade I need to create the depth and shadow that makes the gold thread of my glory shine even brighter. Your thread is not a mistake. It is not unimportant. It is essential. Without it, the entire tapestry would be incomplete. Live with a sense of destiny, my child. You were not an accident. You were not a random thought. You were created for this very day. This specific, ordinary day, with all its frustrations and its weariness. This is the day your destiny is being worked out. And your obedience, your simple yes to me in the small things, it impacts the fulfillment of my promises. My great story moves forward not just by grand pronouncements, but by the million, small, faithful steps of my children. You are my hands, my feet, my voice in your corner of the world. Your obedience today is how my kingdom comes. My child, I see your heart, and I see the hope I have planted there. It is the hope of my son's return. I know, to you, it feels so distant. You hear people talk about it, and it feels abstract, like a story from a book, not a real, coming event. Life is so hard, right now. The bills are due now. The pain is felt now. The world is chaotic now. It is so easy to let that hope fade, to let it become a dusty doctrine you believe in your head but that has no power in your heart. You are so focused on just surviving today, you have forgotten to live in light of that day. I am watching to see if you will. I see your hope, even when it is just a flicker, and I see what that hope does inside you. I see your longing for a world made new, for a day with no more tears, no more pain, no more struggle. That longing is from me. It is your soul's internal compass, pointing you home. I am watching to see how this hope changes you. When you truly live as if I could return at any moment, it purifies you. It changes your priorities, doesn't it? Suddenly, that argument at work, that perceived insult from a family member, that desperate need to acquire more, it all looks so small. It looks so temporary. When you live with an eternal perspective, you stop fighting so hard for the temporary prizes of this world. You stop investing all your energy in building a kingdom on earth that will one day burn. Your hope of my return makes you a stranger here and a citizen of heaven. It makes you live differently. I see you when you choose to forgive instead of holding a grudge because you know the time is short. I see you when you choose to give generously because you are storing up treasure in a place that lasts. I see you when you choose to speak of me because you have an urgency, a deep desire to bring others with you. This hope is your anchor in the middle of the storm. When the waves are crashing over you, this hope is what keeps your soul from being shipwrecked. I see you preparing yourself. What does that mean? It means keeping your lamp lit. It means not falling asleep spiritually. It means living in a state of readiness, not in fear, but in eager anticipation. It is like a child waiting for their father to come home from a long journey. They keep running to the window. They keep listening for his footsteps. They live in a state of excitement. That is how I want you to live. Live ready, my child. Live with your heart turned toward home. Your hope is not a fantasy. It is the most solid reality there is. The world around you is the shadow. My coming kingdom is the substance. I am watching to see you live in that truth. Live today as if it could be the day. For the day of our reunion is drawing nearer than ever. My child, I want you to truly understand what is happening in heaven as you run your race. We are not just a passive audience, politely watching your struggles. We are an eager, excited family, standing at the door, waiting to celebrate your arrival. The saints and angels who watch you, they are eager to meet you. The heroes of the faith you have only read about, the family members you have loved and lost in me, they are here, and they are part of your great cloud of witnesses. They see you. They cheer for you. And they cannot wait to embrace you. You feel so alone down there, but up here, you are a household name. We are not just watching your journey, we are awaiting your arrival. You are not a refugee struggling to find shelter. You are a child, a prince, a princess, coming home to a kingdom that is already yours. I told you that I have gone to prepare a place for you. You read those words, but do you let them sink in? This is not just a vague promise. It is a specific, personal reality. There is a place prepared for you, a place designed for your joy, a place where all the broken things in your life will make sense. There is a crown reserved for you, my child. Not because you earned it with your perfection, but because you received my grace and you remained faithful. Every time you chose integrity over profit, every time you chose kindness over anger, every time you chose faith over fear, another jewel was set in that crown. Your faithfulness on earth, your secret, unseen acts of obedience, your persistence in the face of suffering, it is all being translated into your eternal reward. Here, your faithfulness will be openly celebrated. We long for the day when your faith becomes sight. You have no idea what is waiting for you. You cannot, in your human mind, even begin to comprehend the joy, the peace, the wholesomeness, the love that will flood your soul. Your greatest day on earth, your moment of most profound happiness, is a dim, gray shadow compared to your first second here. I know you get tired. I see your weariness. I see you thinking, I can't do this anymore. That is why I am telling you this. I am telling you what is waiting for you, to give you the strength to keep going. You are not running toward nothing. You are running toward a welcome that will shake the heavens. So run. Run your race well. Do not give up. Keep your eyes on me. For a great celebration, a magnificent homecoming, waits you. And we are all here watching and waiting for you. So, my child, knowing this, what do you do? Knowing that you are seen, not with a critical eye, but with the passionate, proud, and loving gaze of your Father, knowing that all of heaven, a stadium of saints and angels, is on its feet cheering for you, knowing that your every small act of faith is recorded, your every tear is collected, your every private battle is celebrated, knowing that your life is not a meaningless accident, but a pivotal thread in my eternal masterpiece, knowing that you are not just living for a day, but that you are living in front of an audience. How will you live? How will this knowledge change the way you get out of bed tomorrow morning? This is not a burden I am placing on you. This is your freedom. This is your permission to stop living for the small, temporary, and fickle applause of earth. You are free. You no longer need their approval. You already have mine. So I commission you, walk today in holiness. Not a stiff, religious, joyless holiness, but a vibrant, authentic holiness that comes from knowing who you are and whose you are. Walk in courage. The courage to be kind, to be honest, to be different. Walk in love. Let my love, which you are receiving right now, flow through you to every person you meet. Let your every action become a prayer. Your work, your chores, your conversations, do them all as an act of worship to me. Let your every word become a psalm, a word of gratitude, a word of hope, a word of life. Stop living for the likes, the promotions, the praise of people who will forget you tomorrow. Live for the well done from the one who holds all of eternity. Make your one life, this one day, count for eternity. You are writing a page in my book of remembrance today. Make it a good one. You are being watched, my beloved. But you are being watched with a love that is deeper than the oceans, a pride that is fiercer than 1,000 armies, and an eagerness for your homecoming that you can barely imagine. You are seen. You are known. You are protected. And you are so loved. And now, go forth from this moment and live in the light, the constant, unwavering, and glorious light of my loving gaze. You have heard my heart, my child. You feel my gaze upon you. The final response to my love is not just to receive it, but to share it. Your full heart is asking, Father, what can I do? Here is my answer. Become the provision for this word. Your gift is the manna that will feed another soul who is starving for my presence, the one who feels as overlooked as you once did. This is your urgent calling to send this light into the deepest shadows. I am the one who loves a cheerful giver, and as you obey me in this, my favor will chase you down. I will multiply your seed and protect your house. Do not delay what my spirit is commanding. Act now. Give through super thanks, become a member, or click the link in the description. My child, this great cloud of witnesses is watching. I am watching. Do not let this moment pass in silence. Let your response echo in the heavens, a defiant declaration of your faith. This is your moment to take a stand. I command you now, Let your voice join the testimony of the saints. Declare it so all of heaven can bear witness to your vow. I am seen, and I live for my King. Amen.